Hello folks, the Celtic Nerd here bringing you another nerdy video. I'm once again joined by SkullDuggeryTV.
Greetings.
This is SideChat, as you can probably tell by our footage of Alien Fireteam Elite.
Yes. Oh, actually, that reminds me. I need to press play on this thing. Hold on. Where is it? There it is. Hopefully the... Is it going? Yes, the mouse is moving, so that means it's going. Okay, cool.
So, we are gonna... unfortunately, we are not moving on to the next Alien movie because to avoid another Aliens, we decided to limit ourselves to 2.5 hours per side chat.
Yeah.
It is good that we implemented this rule early on because once we get to Star Wars...
Yeah. I do plan to, for this, for Alien 3 anyway, I'm going to edit both of these parts together in like a big supercut, but I will try and shorten it down and trim out the stuff that might not be forthcoming. But other than that, it should still be like, it's definitely going to be shorter than Aliens.
Yeah, no, I might at some point do a supercut myself, but like, yeah, folks, it's just from our perspective. You have to also look at it from our perspective. Like, Aliens was a toll.
Like, yeah, it was. Like, there was a lot to unpack with that movie.
Oh yeah, it was. Like, and don't get me wrong, I have no problem. Like, again, I've seen as long videos on YouTube and whatnot. Like, that's for me. It's not so much like I have an issue with the length of the video. It's more like it was a toll on us actually recording it. To sit there for like 5 hours talking about movie. Now we covered every single bit of that movie, so like it's just that like in one sitting, because we're both YouTubers and we both have our own other contents to get through. Like, I have 3 fucking Let's Plays ongoing, as well as I have my D&D stuff. Like, we have live. Like, this he has a career. Like, so
yeah. I'm currently, like, I have a few other videos I need to work on myself. So this is one of those things where we need to, for the sake of both of our own well-beings and lives, we need to.
Yeah, we can't do the footage all in one go anymore.
Yeah. Like, I could imagine, like, if we ever decided to do something like this as like a live stream, I imagine that would be okay because like there's a bit more freedom in terms of length. But yeah, in terms of like
we could even then interact with viewers. Like, now, mind you, though, like, can you imagine the fucking tangents? The amount of tangents that would happen if viewers are fucking chiming in.
Oh god, that would be fun. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, that would be fun.
Yeah, no, because I even see it with again. I tend to bring them up quite often when we do our videos. The Super Colin brothers, like, they're now doing their live shows, and so they have the actual audience right in front of them, and someone would shout something or like say something, like, and then they'd be like, "Oh yeah," and then they would then go on a huge fucking tangent. But again, they have fun because they're talking about Harry Potter, like, so they honestly don't mind.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, as long as it's a subject you know you're having fun with, then that just translates as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah. So, we're now again, if you're watching the supercut, you know exactly where we left off. In terms of talking about Alien 3, we left off talking about the scene between the doctor of the prison and the
warden.
Yeah, the warden. Because it's not exactly a prison anymore. Like, is it really?
Yeah, it's like they are still technically prisoners. They're just like they're custodians of it, basically. Like, they'll never leave, and they have to have the 2 guys there as their like carers, I guess would be the appropriate word.
But it's just that there's no guards or anything, so realistically, the prisoners could just fucking kill them.
Yeah, and actually, we learn later on when. We'll eventually get to it. We kind of learn later on why they kind of don't, in a way. Which is very convenient, but fuck it.
But then after that, we learned a bit more about the ending of And a bit about the start of Alien 3 with Higgins.
Oh,
Why, like, what?
I actually.
Oh,
Are
sorry.
you talking about the whole? Are you talking about the whole thing of like, aliens, colonial marines, kind of
Yeah.
tried to get? Yeah. So I did a bit of digging. I want to find it. So it looks like they retconned that whole thing to no longer be canon because
Oh,
like the
okay.
game just turned out so bad. But in my
Okay.
research, I also found out something new that I think was kind of cool. I still need to properly background check this, but I was watching I think it's a YouTuber I was watching called Oliver Harper. Again. I think I mentioned him in the last video. Good YouTuber. Highly recommend his content. He does great retrospectives on old movies. But I think I can't remember. It was either his video on Aliens or Alien 3, one of the two. But apparently, in Aliens, during Ripley's hearing, they have that. She has that big screen behind her, and it's
Yeah.
showing the information of the Nostromo crew and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When it gets to Lambert, the information, the big wall of text that is basically her bio. She actually had a sex change. She was born a man, but then got a sex change to be a woman.
Oh, okay.
So, if you want to get technical, she is technically like one of the first sci-fi horror movie trans characters.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, yeah, a small
No,
thing that I just wanted to share.
Yeah, that's a very small detail. Like, wow.
Yeah, yeah,
No, it is a cool detail. Like,
yeah, yeah. I just wanted to share it because when I find out new information about these kind of things like Aliens or any other kind of films I like, it's like, oh god, I need to share this now, even if it's not. I wish I'd known this during Aliens because it would have made more sense to bring it up there, but I only found it out when I was going over Alien 3 stuff. So, oi, but yeah. I just found that kind of cool. I wanted to share it. But yeah, as far as Colonial Marines is concerned,
it's non-canon now.
as far as I can tell, yeah, they kind of, because it's not mentioned in any other, like Alien Isolation is referenced in extended lore and stuff like that, but so far there's been no reference to Colonial Marines. So it's looking likely that yeah, they just decided, yeah, we made a shit game and a really shit DLC to go with it, so we're just gonna, yeah, no,
But
we're just gonna.
but as you said, you need to double check it. So like, so we're still technically in a quasi. Is it canon? Is it not canon?
Oh no, I had to double check the Lambert thing. The Alien Colonial Marine thing
Oh.
is, as far as I'm aware, yeah, it's no longer canon.
Oh, okay. So okay, that's good. Now, mind you, as I said in the previous. Now, if you're watching the Super Cup, the what would have been the first part of this whole video, if you're watching Supercut, or if you're not if it's not Supercut, you're watching the end of the last video. I said the whole him waking up and like the whole ship intercepting the Sulaco and all that would make the opening of Alien 3 a bit more tolerable. So once again, like, oh my god, now we're just completely 100% stuck with the shitty electrical fire opening with no explanation of how that fucking xenomorph egg. Actually, sorry, no, 2 eggs, because there had to be 2.
Yeah.
Got on board the Sulaco.
It's yeah.
As bad as Colonial Marines was, at least they gave us an explanation for that.
Yeah, an effort was made.
Yeah, but now we have nothing.
No, it's
just that shitty, like, because the Sulaco never even fucking touched down on the fucking planet. And the placement of the eggs, again, we brought it up in the last video, or at the start of the Supercut. If they simply had the eggs on the fucking ship, like on the underside of it, like where the engines were, like where the xenomorph crane was, that would, and then you see then the fucking facehugger going out and exploring the Sulaco, looking for someone to impregnate. That would have been just fucking fine. But no, we didn't get that. Instead, the eggs are we only see 1 egg, but eventually throughout the movie, it's very clear that there's 2 eggs.
Yeah.
But no, we see the fucking egg. on the underside of the fucking cryopod room. Like under the table.
Yeah, I still don't know what they were thinking. It feels like a rushed idea. Like, oh, how can we explain away that there's an alien? Oh, fuck it, egg in the cryo bay. How to get there? I don't fucking know. The script demands it.
Oh yeah, no. In all fairness, oh my god, this actually reminds me. I know we're talking about something we already talked about, folks, but I just realized I'm gonna. There's an exact quote from Harry Potter that is very similar to this. All the way back in Philosopher's Stone, when it comes, this is hilarious. There's literally a bit where, because again, keep in mind, folks, the Harry Potter books are told from a third person perspective, so we're not hearing Harry's thoughts or anything like that. It's as if someone's telling Harry's story.
Yeah,
but it brings up Harry and Hermione did not know how they managed to get Norbert all the way up to the tallest astronomy tower. They just completely skip the idea, like the sequence. And we know for a fact that teachers and Filch and Mrs. Norris patrol those halls. And yeah, it's like JK who's like, oh, I'm about to write myself into a corner here. How are they going to carry a big crate with a noisy fire-breathing dragon? Like up.
This is the first book, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the first book. Now again, you could argue this is only the start of her writing thing. Like,
no, I was just gonna say if this happened like not long after they'd learnt Wingardium Leviosa, just there you go. That's an explanation.
Yeah, but the fact is, like, the narrator acknowledges that they did not know how they managed to do it. Like, and that's the crazy part. And here's the other thing: we know for a fact that Malfoy is at the tipping off. Like
McGonagall. Yeah.
No, he tipped off Filch. It's McGonagall in the movie. It's actually it's Filch is the one that catches them.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Oh no. No, you're right. Because no, wait. I'm trying to remember now. Because Neville gets caught because it's believed that he snuck out to try and warn Harry and Hermione, and Harry's like they can't say nothing because it'll get Hagrid in trouble. Because they actually don't get caught for the dragon. Like, Hagrid doesn't get caught with the dragon at all. Like, unlike in the movies, they're completely successful in their plan. Which again, the narrator is like they don't know how they succeeded. And the reason why they got caught as they were leaving was because Harry forgot his invisibility cloak. It's amazing how often he forgets about the invisibility cloak. Or the Marauders map. But again, the Marauders map conveniently always gets taken away from him ever since he gets it. Fucking Lupin takes it from him in Prisoner. He again gets taken off from him from Moody.
Yeah. It's just a long list of plot conveniences to help the writer through the story.
Yeah, but again, like, it's just hilarious, like, because this is a very much similar situation where, like, oh, how did they get there? No idea.
Yeah, fuck it.
Like, I had to bring it up because it's just a hilarious thing. And again,
there's so many things that do that. I will say, like, as much as I love the character, sometimes even Batman's guilty of this, where it's just like, how did he stop him? I don't know. I just invented some shit. Okay.
Like, in all fairness, I also do wish that J.K. did not abandon the initial idea of, like, instead of a golden trio, having, like, 4 main characters: Neville, Ron, Hermione, and Harry.
Oh, so Neville was actually going to be...
He was meant to be more central part to the group. Like, if you read the books, it's super fucking obvious. He's actually there a lot. And again, it was him and Hermione and Harry and Draco that went into the Forbidden Forest, not Ron. Ron's first trip into the Forbidden Forest doesn't happen until the second book. And that's why the Devil's Snare was in there to begin with,
because Neville's herbology.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That would have been interesting to see.
Yeah. It was initially intended, but she abandoned it at some point, and the theory goes is because it would have been a bit too cluttered. Which is why eventually the group does eventually include Neville eventually, but not until Order of the Phoenix. But at that point, it also includes two others. It includes you have the Golden Trio, and then you have the Silver Trio.
So I'm guessing that's Neville, Luna, and
Ginny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, but the original idea was to have, because the 6 of them represent the previous generation of like Hogwarts students. Harry, his father, but they don't have. They basically represent their best version of the previous generation. Like Harry represents his father, but without the arrogance and ego. Hermione represents Lupin, but instead of being ashamed of what makes her different, she fully embraced it. Like, 'cause Lupin was, completely fucking ruled and shamed by the fact that he's a werewolf. Hermione fully embraces and takes pride in the fact that she's a half-blood. Ron represents Sirius, except with the whole extreme loyalty, but he doesn't. He's not blindly loyal like Sirius was, where he lets the other guy get away with pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Then you had Luna. It represents Snape, whereas Snape was ruled by how others viewed him, and would hold a fucking grudge like no one would ever fucking believe, to the point where he bullies fucking children. Luna just doesn't give two fucks. You make fun of her, it just washes off her back. She's a duck to water,
Yeah, she is just a very chill. I genuinely thought she was stoned for a good chunk of those films.
Ginny represents Harry's mother, but there's not really any flaw to Harry's mom. Mind you, we know fuck all about her. Like, we know a bit more about James because of flashbacks and whatnot.
Yeah. Lily's just kind of the one Harry used as a human shield.
Yeah. Mind you won't do that with fucking Ginny in the book version of Ginny. Book version of Ginny is a fucking badass.
Yeah.
And the romance is so much better.
Oh, absolutely. Like, again, we talked about this before, but like movie version, and this is again, it's not the actor's fault. It's down to the writing. The movie version is just a personality vacuum.
But then you have Neville, who's supposed to represent Peter Pettigrew. But whereas, because he's the cowardly, untalented friend, but whereas Peter, he never overcame his cowardice. He never.
He kind of remains just a little worm.
Whereas Neville, eventually, he ends up standing up to Voldemort and actually fucking drawing the sword of Gryffindor. He becomes a true Gryffindor. Despite his cowardly beginnings.
Yeah.
But basically the original idea was Harry, Ron, and Hermione and Neville were basically supposed to be like pseudo the next generation of Marauders. Also, Harry, Hermione, and Ron each represent. There's also a popular theory that each of them also represents a different house, but they're all in Gryffindor. Harry, Slytherin, because Harry is quite cunning. Hermione, Ravenclaw, and Ron, Hufflepuff. But then you have obviously so basically the three of them together being in Gryffindor is literally all three houses united.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why the Super Coen Brothers are now doing this whole What If series. What if Harry was in Slytherin? It's fantastic. I'm currently listening to their What If Ron was in Hufflepuff. I really cannot wait until they do What If Hermione is in Ravenclaw. That'd be so fantastic. Anyway.
Yes, the pre-ramble is over.
Yeah.
The preamble.
Dear God.
Is preamble?
Wow, fucking 20 minutes. Oh, shit. Okay.
Hey, again, like, every podcast has an intro. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Again, like, you should be thankful ours is 20 minutes. Like, there's a podcast I listen to, I think I mentioned it before, called EFAP. And their openings are, like, sometimes that, like, because they'll have, like a 4 or 5 to 10 hour podcast, and like the opening will just be an hour long, and typically we're just talking about these games that we played were great and shit like that. So it's 20 minutes is fine.
Yeah. I don't want to end up having to do a third part of Alien 3. But mind you, it would be a bit ironic considering it's Alien 3.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I just spent like fucking 15, 20 minutes promoting a fucking other YouTube channel.
How could you?
Anyway, so the next scene that happens on Alien 3 is we get some prisoners. I can't really recall what their whole purpose is in this tunnel.
I think they're just there to light candles. Like, I think because it looks like that there's no power in that area.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Candles like as a pathway kind of thing.
Yeah. Because they reference the size of this like prison often, and so to avoid people getting lost, they light the candles as basically like, oh yeah, this is how you get from this point to this point.
Exactly.
They're having like just some conversations. Like one says shit and the guy contradicts them. We've already talked about this.
Yeah. I think one of them is like God damn it or something like that. It's like don't curse, and then the other guy says, what, fuck, this is shit. And then once again, Paul McGann's character, who I think is called Gullick in I think he's credited as. Yeah, he goes, yeah, no swearing, and the other guy goes, shut up, it ain't against God. So again, they're kind of, it's one of those things where they just remind your guys, these are criminals, but they're religious criminals.
Yeah, like it is very clear that they are genuinely trying to repent. Like it's the movie does, like I will say, the movie does do a fairly decent job at trying to make like these group of criminals like a bit more redeemable.
Yeah, not all of them. Obviously, the ones that tried to, do that to Ripley, I was kind of hoping they would die first.
Oh yeah. No, I totally agree. But these three definitely seem genuinely repentant because like they're even trying to follow the don't take the Lord, like the commandments, don't take the Lord's name in vain. Like, so fair fucking play to them. Like, not many people even in this time do that.
No. Sure, I don't even know the commandments. I'm pretty sure I've broken all of them, except for murder. But okay, bad joke aside. But an interesting thing about Paul McGann's character, Gullick, in the extended edition of the film, the what do they call it again? The it's not the director's cut, the assembly cut. It's been a while since I've watched it, but his character actually had a much more prominent role in the original story than what we get in theatrical release. Like basically after this scene, so basically, as you can tell in an Alien movie, it's three guys in a deep dark fucking hallway thing. The alien comes, kills two of them. Paul McGann's character gets like sprayed with the blood of one of his friends. And what I will say is just a genuinely eerie kind of scene because like he gets sprayed with the blood and then he's kind of looking at it with this. It's like a perfect blend of fear but also kind of awe, which is a credit to Paul McGann's fucking acting ability. He's a fantastic actor. But yeah, no. From that moment on, like Gullick was supposed to have a slightly more prominent role in the film where he's actually obsessed with the alien and kind of worships it. Like again, the next time we see him, he's calling it a dragon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'll get into more about what he does as we go further into what we're talking about in the theatrical release. But it's fascinating to go back and watch the assembly cut and see. Okay, so this is kind of what they wanted. Okay.
So basically, they notice that some of the candles are flickering, but there should be no wind. So they think, okay, there must be some kind of like hole and whatnot. And some of the candles start going out, like they can see like the light dimming. So they send one of the prisoners out to obviously relight it. And unfortunately, the one that they send to relight it, oh boy, you know what's gonna happen to him.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Where the Alien movies did eventually, it's a horror trope that it's sad to see that Alien did eventually fall into, where you're just like, oh, I wonder how you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like,
One of them, the other two eventually, hear what's going on. They look down the hallway and they see that the buddy that they sent to light the candle is being horribly killed. So they begin to run. Now, they completely abandon the candles and try running into a vent, and then they start running around. But as we discussed, the purpose of the candles is so that they don't get lost. So, unfortunately, very quickly, the two of them do get lost. And if I recall correctly, they actually end up in the fucking place where the guy got killed.
Yeah. They got so turned around in the pipelines that like, oh, where are we going? Where are we going? Then it just kind of, pardon me, it fully takes up the.
They do a circle.
I will say, like, this is the first time as well that we kind of get a good look at the runner alien. I think in the film, because the first victim is the one that gets sucked into the fan. And we only get like a brief glimpse of it, but like this is the first time we actually get to see it properly, and it's probably one of my favorite designs for the alien. So in terms of like how expressive it is, like it only has the mouth to go on, but like fair play to them, like they do the pardon me, the VFX team. When they were making the runner puppet, like they did a great job of making it expressive with just the mouth alone.
They did a great job. It's just a shame that though, because they want to make sure that it's clear that this is unique, and because it's a quadruped, like they, due to the limitations of puppetry, eventually they have to use 90s CGI.
Oh god, yeah, and it's one of to be fair, like I've seen, because there's a lot of other movies that came out around that time that had some fantastic CGI, and so because I believe the budget on this film was a lot higher than the last two films, so to see it's like really horrible blue screen kind of thing, like you can actually see the black outline that they used to cut around the alien so they can superimpose it onto the set and stuff like that for the actual shots, and it's some of the, I think it's nowhere is it more prominent than during the final chase scene, when they're trying to trap it in the lead thing later on in the film, when it's running on the ceiling and shit like that. It hasn't aged well.
So the two guys are like, where is it, like, because like it just left the body there, which even they're like, okay, this is strange. And then the black guy with the cross on it, like tattooed onto his forehead, looks up and the Xeno is right above him, picks him up, starts killing the shit out of him, and the guy,
it's a buffet, basically.
And then the blood, as you said, the blood splatters all over the guy's face, and then he goes fucking legging it. And again, I saw what you mean, because like, as per usual, I have the scene sort of playing out in front of me. Cool. Again, gotta love having two monitors. It makes things like this very easy. And like like that he does have, like it would have been cool if they like extended the whole like length of the movie. Okay, so if they did this as a show, it would have been really fucking cool if we then had like, and if there were way more prisoners, like if a cult started forming around, like, and they were and they started secretly leaving, like, and then we start seeing like this cult starts secretly closing doors or leaving people to die, like leading people into areas that they believe that the xenomorph is. Like, and again, I keep bringing her up. I would love for a situation like that with the Lady in the Dark as well. Like this, like a fucking like eldritch fucking cult type thing to spring up. With the xenomorphs being viewed as like angels to to her, they're her messengers. Like, there's so much creepy shit that you can do with the Lady in the Dark.
But that's it. Like they can just like I'm pretty sure some of the comics have delved into characters that have done that. Like just go full blown eldritch horror. You know, like just these things like these are demons. They birth out of you and stuff like that. You know.
Oh
I'm
yeah, no.
pretty sure there are alien things where they.
But imagine having a cult that reverses the xenomorphs not as demons, but like they refer to them as like angels.
Mm.
Like it's not like a fear thing. It's like total like you know, like love and like worship of them, like because like
Yeah, they're just kind of it would be an interesting concept for them to explore, and I kind of would like to see it in some way, even if it's not in like film form
yeah
or TV, even comic or game
yeah
would be fascinating to see.
oh it'd be just oh
That would be great.
yeah
But yeah, so I think so Golic and them they get fucking axed off by the
yeah
Xenos. And then
the
we
guy runs
have
off.
we cut back then we're back then with Ripley as she's reactivating Bishop.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And I will say, like, for this scene especially, 'cause, again, props to the VFX people.
Yeah,
Pardon me, the puppetry for Bishop is really good in this. Like, it's one of those times where you forget it's an animatronic.
mm.
And again, Lance Henriksen is always it's always great to hear his voice as the character. And again, if people, Mass Effect fans will recognize that this is Admiral Hackett, by the way. I think I brought it up in Aliens, but I'll just bring it up here again. Yeah, Lance Henriksen is Admiral Hackett.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
Oh, I didn't? I thought I had, yeah.
No.
Yeah, so yeah, next time you guys are playing, Mass Effect, just think of, an emotionally inept android that, holds onto a little girl to not be sucked out into space, and he's legless.
Oh no, I always liked Admiral Hackett.
He's a good character.
Oh yeah. But yeah, folks. Dear God. So this was like when I first saw Alien Street, I was really hoping that this would be the moment where it would have been explained how the egg got onto in the cryo room.
Oh, I never thought that would be how they could do it. Fuck.
But nope.
Nope.
He's just like, there wasn't it was with us all the way. Like,
Yeah. There's just it's
like
he replays the alert. She gets a little bit of information. He's like, no, the alien was with us all the way, and the company knows everything. And is that all the information we're getting? Yes. You're not going to tell us how the alien got on board. I'm sorry, Bishop's no longer available to talk to me later on. Press beep.
Also, like, he basically asks her to kill him, like, because as an android, he has a semblance of pride, and it's
he can be rebuilt, but he'll never be top of the line again.
Yeah, and he would rather be nothing, if not top of the line. So basically, it's Vegeta if Vegeta was an android.
And it also kind of, because again, like I think we were talking about it before, like one of my problems with the film is it can get a bit too nihilistic, and I think Bishop's attitude towards being shut down, it kind of adds to that. Like, he's like, I'd rather be nothing. Fuck life. I'd rather just be nothing. I'm like, oh, that's lovely. Thanks.
Yeah.
The only friend Ripley has left.
Also, there's one slight problem with that. The whole I won't be top of the line anymore. Bullshit. There's such a thing. There's a term that PC gamers will be very much aware of, and it's called upgrades. You take out the faulty part and you put in like.
But that's the thing as well, though, because we kind of, I suppose, we don't really know fully how the Wayland androids work. Maybe they can be upgraded, maybe they can. Well, though, then again, yeah, because then in Alien Romulus, it's kind of like you've got the Andy robot who he just replaces his chip, and then
And then there's also this other thing. You could easily just download his fucking profile and memory and upload it into a spanking new model.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird. it really just felt like, well, we already killed Hicks and Newt. We may as well just kill Bishop now as well.
Like
Like
it's
that's
just
it. Kind of felt. It kind of felt a bit okay. I
I,
mean, it was great to have again to bring Lance Henriksen back to have the great puppetry do its work.
oh
It
yeah,
was nice, but
it's just
it's a bittersweet scene. But it's kind of like, why did you need it though?
yeah,
Why
yeah.
did you do this?
Like the again for a robot, like it's the whole like I'll never be top of the line, or the idea of pride is really weird. Because his primary function should be to serve, like regardless of am I top of the line or not. No, that shouldn't come into it. You're
Yeah,
programmed to serve.
yeah. But at the same time, it's shown like even in Aliens, Bishop was shown not to be your average android. Like
Oh yeah, yeah,
I suppose that's because he's technically colonial owned by the colonial marines. So
yeah,
yeah, I think we talked about that in Aliens. Yeah, like he wouldn't have the Wayland Yutani kind of programming in there. It'd just be like, oh no, he's a marine. They'll think it's weird if we have some Wagyu programming in there. He's not RoboCop. Let's not do that.
yeah.
Um,
But my point
yeah,
is though, like even if he is owned by the colonial marines, like the idea of being programmed to serve would be universal. You know, like that wouldn't be just a Wayland thing. Now, mind you, Wayland would have programming like serve the company at all fucking costs.
yeah. They would have
But
gone full OCP on him. Yeah,
yeah, however, with if you bought any kind of scent, like for whatever purpose, be it colonial marines, private, some other private sector or whatever, like other company, like no, the primary function would be to serve whoever fucking bought you or the
yeah.
highest representative of that group.
Mm, mm.
So the idea of he's like, no, I don't want to serve you. Shut me down because I won't be top of the line. I know I'm paraphrasing, obviously, folks,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
like you see the flaw.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of one of those things where they just wanted to have Ripley have a tender moment with like one of her last friends because even she's like, do you really want that? He's like, do it for me, Ripley, and she's like, okay, and then just turns him off, and I mean, it's weird to hear an android breathe out a sigh of relief at being shut down.
Yeah, considering they're not supposed to, breathe.
I personally I don't mind it. I think it's a nice little because it kind of shows what he may not have been human, but certainly he certainly had a soul, I guess would be the takeaway if to getting weirdly philosophical there, but yeah, that basically like he's one of again, there's a reason Bishop is a fan favorite android.
Oh yeah. Sorry, folks. I'm not. I don't mean to be shitting on Bishop. It's not. I'm
Oh
not
no,
doing
no,
that.
you weren't. Don't worry.
It's more. I just have an issue with the dialogue that they gave him.
Yeah, no, I can absolutely get where you're coming from in that regard. But again, it's Alien 3.
Yeah.
There's a myriad of issues.
So,
um,
following this, though, him being shut down, the prisoners come in and with the guy, tied up.
yeah, Paul McGann's character, Gullig. I have it.
Yeah.
It's a Gollum, but it's just without it's just Lig basically.
So he is going complete apeshit because they found like he's covered in blood and two of the prisoners are gone missing. The warden and his second in command believe like, okay, this guy clearly did it.
Yeah, and Dylan's just like, no, he's a lot of things. He's a he's a murderer. He's a fool, but he's not a liar.
And yeah,
Or something like that,
and he
yeah.
never lied to me. Like he wouldn't lie to me.
Yeah. And then we got like he's going on and on about, oh, it wasn't me, it was the dragon,
Yeah.
and then that's where Ripley kind of makes her entrance, like he's telling the truth. I
Yeah.
want to hear more about this dragon, and then we get, oh, sorry, I accidentally muted my mic. Then we get like this great kind of just brief look from Clemens, the doctor. He's kind of giving her like a, oh my god, you have been holding out. Like, what do you know? And then of course the warden's not having any of it. He's like, this man is a fucking murderer. Like, what? You need to understand.
He's
this
crazy.
shit.
He's insane.
Yeah.
But then Ripley's like, okay, let's talk about this in your office because like
And then
because in his mind he's just like trying to, you know, he's constantly just trying to make sure that he understands that he is vastly outnumbered. He wants to make sure that the prisoners understand, like, okay, like it's a facade of control he's trying to like do. Like, I'm the one in charge. Like, you know, so which is why he's always like, I'm doing this is rumor control.
Oh God, yeah.
And
it's so funny.
So yeah, so he brings Ripley to his office, and then clearly Ripley just now we use that as a joke in my D&D games. Ripley casts exposition at 5th level.
Yeah, because we immediately just cut to, like, she's clearly already told the story, and he's like, oh, let me get this straight. You encountered this creature. It
6
kills on
feet
sight
tall.
it kills on sight and is generally unpleasant.
Yeah, I'm like, that's one way to fucking describe it.
But what I kind of do love is I can't remember the character's actual name, but 85. He's just like, you can kind of see in his face, he's like, I've never heard anything quite like it. It's like almost part of him kind of thinks that it might be true, but another part is just like, that this is the most freakiest shit I've ever heard. I hope it isn't true.
Oh yeah, and Ripley just deadpans like, yep, that's about sums it up.
Yeah, like, I love that she's completely she's unfazed by the disbelief. Like, even she says, like, he says to her, like, and I suppose you expect me to believe all of this at your word. No, I don't expect you to believe anything.
Yeah, because she went through it, like, from her point of view, she went through this, 3 weeks ago? Because from her perspective, because again, the cryo sleep, because she was oh wait, no, it was 2 weeks. She spent
in cryo on the Sulaco,
apparently
it was 2 weeks.
Yeah, she did her. She woke up. She then had her meeting. Then 2 weeks went by. Time skip because fucking that's when your man sends the fucking family, or well, he needs to request someone to go check out the coordinates that Ripley gave. So 2 weeks, because remember, it takes like 2 weeks to send a fucking message.
And the answer is always don't ask. I love that. I love that interaction between them so much.
It would have taken about 2 weeks for that. Then she goes into cryosleep after she's asked to, you know, like, look, something went wrong. Actually, no, it would have been a bit long because the time it would take for them to miss their communications. So 4 weeks. We'll say about a month. So
because keep in mind she's been working on the Gateway Station on Earth.
So
during this whole stuff.
Yeah, so about a month, because 2 weeks to send that communication out, given the order to investigate this area. Then let's say 2 weeks for him to be like, okay, they should be sending me a report. They're not sending me a report.
Shit.
She then presumably they leave that day after they recruit her. No, because they're at night, so 1 day. So yeah, so a month and a day. Like we'll only count weeks. So she leaves, goes in the cryo with the Marines, wakes up. A couple of hours later, they're touching down on the planet. That's when shit hits the fan, and I believe they're only really there for 1 day. The events, because like
24 to 48 hours, yeah.
Because we only really see Ripley sleep once, and you're right, because the Xenos attacked one night, the turrets keep them back, they flee back, and then it's the second night when they come back again, and they're in the ceilings this time.
Yeah. So there's some kind of, I'd say maybe like a day and a half, roughly. Yeah.
So either way, so Ripley, literally, give or take a couple of days, a month ago, had a whole room filled with people, and no one believed her.
Yeah. So this is kind of, I will say it's great acting on Sigourney Weaver's part, because this is just Ripley fed up now. Like she's gone through this.
I just went through this already, a month ago.
Yeah. Like, she doesn't care if they don't believe her. All she needs to know at this point, it's just a matter of time before it kills again, and then they'll just come like, all right, so what do we do? Like, we're coming to you now, Ripley. Please, come and save us. And I do like, and then, of course, we get the explanation then, because she's the warden asks her, "Well, what would you have us do?" And she goes
She's
on like, "Well, okay, like,
well, what do we have?
What weapons do we have? You know, and
He's like, we have silverware,
axes and stuff like that." And again, this was going back to, because this was one of Sigourney Weaver's conditions for the film, like no guns, because she was very anti-gun at this point. So it was like, yeah, no guns, and so okay, we'll give you that. So that's why they have no guns in the prison.
Oh yeah, which begs the question, like, okay, you want you're doing a movie where clearly by the end of the movie the creature has to be killed, but you don't want us to use guns against it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I will say it does allow the writer to come up with a creative way for them to kill you. Again, in the first Alien film, it was blowing it out the airlock. In the second film, nukes and then a big power loader, which I fucking loved.
Yeah.
I will say this film was kind of creative.
I will say though, I don't hate the fact I didn't have any guns, because, like, for one, it adds a lot of fucking tension. Because, indeed. Like, wait. Like the closest thing we have to weapons is axes and silver. Sorry, closest thing to weapons is axes and silverware.
And I think they bring up like shivs as well, like because it's prisoners, so they're gonna have like makeshift weapons. And that's the thing I love, like, because it brings the question. Wait, this is because Ripley does bring it up, and this is what I was going to mention earlier on as to why they don't have weapons. And it's just like Ripley's like, this is a maximum security prison, and you have no weapons of any kind. And again, the warden's just like, we're on the honor system. So basically, we're going to trust these prisoners that are like murderers, rapists, thieves.
Also,
that will not kill us.
There is also no way for them off the planet.
That is true. They're kind of stuck until a supply ship comes. Like, I think they said like it's every few months that the supply ship comes. Yeah. They never gave a specific time frame.
But the thing is, I get the impression that sorry, something must land, because your man, even as we said, 85 is like, I'm supposed to be gone the next I'm supposed to be, like, gone the next shipment. Like, so the very next shipment he was supposed to be leaving the prison. Like, so Sigourney's just like, we're fucked.
No, you're fucked. I love how he delivers that line. It's just such again, there's some nice little snippets of fun stuff. Like, again, Dylan, that fantastic line, I have to re-educate some of the brothers. Yeah. After he saves Ripley. It's just, there's some good lines in this movie.
Oh yeah. But I love the horror that's like that Sigourney Weaver delivers when she just realized, like, we have no weapons. Oh my fucking god, we have no weapons. Because unfortunately the weapons that, axes are weapons, but unfortunately there's a little thing called acid blood.
Yeah, like, even Ripley, and I was like, that's not going to help us in any way, shape, or form.
Unless you can get a killing blow on it with the first swing, your weapon's going to be destroyed. Mm-hmm. So if it's not a killing blow, you just go buy weapon, and the Xenomorph is going to be even pissed off, pissed off at you, or even if you do get a killing blow, unfortunately, if you kill someone with an axe, blood's going to spray everywhere.
Exactly, that's what I'm going to get to. Yeah, like, even if you get the killing blow, you're fucked.
This is why, like, as I always point out, Xenomorphs cannot have evolved biologically, because
they have to have been man-made.
Yeah, because not man-made, something made. Because they need, like, every living creature, like, even like every, like, we now in real life we do have what we call apex predators. But the thing is, though, apex predators can still be taken down by other animals, in certain situations. Like, even great white sharks, lions. Like, a lion can, like, people refer to a lion as an apex, like a land-based apex predator. But here's the thing: if a lion goes near a watering hole and there's a fucking crocodile,
it's fucked.
Yeah, now the crocodile's the apex predator. Like, there's, like, again, it's the beauty of nature. Like, nothing is absolutely fucking perfect. So, like, but with the Xenomorph, there literally is not, like, unless something is acid proof, you can't, like, there's there's no prey that has a chance of surviving the xenomorph, because like any kind of natural weapon the prey may have would then die to the acid, unless it too was immune to acid. But the thing is, though, the only reason why something would probably have acid, like that type of acidic blood, would be as a natural defense mechanism. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
But like, so then, like that was, it's just, yeah, like everything's just too perfect for the xenomorph. The xenomorph is perfectly insulated against violent attack against it from any natural creature. Only modern to advanced technology can effectively deal with the xenomorph, because from this, actually, sorry, not even modern, because they are bulletproof. It
depends on the type of bullet.
Yeah. So like only high caliber ammunition. Now, looking at the Clone tend to have that high caliber ammunition. So,
like,
yeah,
even shotguns. Like, if Alien Isolation is anything to go by, like the best most a shotgun can do is cause it to run away. That's about it.
Yeah. So like again, it's just. We have a problem where, again, like as I keep bringing up, like this is why I'm glad that there are comics that like hint towards that make it clear. Okay, these things are not biological. Like it's always been clear that they were, because ever since the first movie, the guy referred to it as biomechanical.
Yeah. They are biological. It's just that they're not natural.
Yeah. Which again, like it's just but yeah, so
the after this,
we have Ripley talking to the doc. Like she basically tells him everything at this point, I think.
Yeah, pretty not yet. I think they have a moment, but yeah, the warden is just like, look, you're now on lockdown until the rescue until the pickup ship arrives. Clemens is going to look after you. Fuck off. And that's it. And then so she's with the doctor. Then
they're having a drink.
Well, not having a drink. They're just having a conversation.
Well, no, they're I'm looking at saying they're sipping some out cups. I don't think it's tea.
Oh, fair enough. But yeah, they're kind of having this discussion, kind of heart to heart moment. This is the scene where Clemens kind of gives us his full backstory of why he's here.
It's the main bulk of the scene now. Also, Ripley starts coughing. He's like, "Okay, you're clearly not well. Maybe you need one of my concoctions."
Yeah, and this is because this is one of the first signs, because Ripley, throughout the course of the film, is showing like she's not feeling 100%. At first, it's meant to be like, oh, okay, it's clearly after the crash. She's still like suffering some physical ailments and stuff like that after all, but no, as the film progresses, like she is getting worse and worse, like out of shortness of breath, coughing, that kind of stuff. So it's nice. We'll explain why in a while, but it's nice foreshadowing. We
then have Golic being like, "Are you were you married?" Like that, like, and he's like, strangely enough, he's being genuinely nice. Like he's just like, "You're pretty enough," like, and all that, like, you know, like. He's not creeping on her or anything. Like like it sounds like just like a casual conversation.
It is, but then it gradually gets a little bit more creepy, because like, oh yeah, girls used to like me too, for a while.
Yeah,
and which kind of opens up a whole thing of, what the fuck did you do, you weirdo? And then he's just like, you're going to die too. I'm just like, Paul McGann's a great actor. And so they looked at getting him.
Yeah. It's around at this point, and the doc's like, okay, you know what? Enough of you.
Close the curtain on him.
Now, which then leads us to a very interesting thing. Now, like, I love how the first hint we get of it is not like a shadow or anything. It's fucking the doc's like, now, after knowing my backstory, do you still trust me with a needle?
Yeah,
and Ripley just looks at him, holds out her arm.
Yeah, and I do kind of like how they frame it. It's almost kind of like I don't know if this was intentional or unintentional, but I kind of got the impression when I watched the film for the very first time originally that once he injects her, she kind of she's hallucinating or something like that.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
we're going to get to that bit. I'm purposely trying to not say what happens next.
oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree. At first, I thought it was hallucination as well. But yeah, then after he sticks the needle in her and he starts, injecting her with his concoction, and then we zoom in on like some medical equipment, and then
Yeah,
onto
we kind of
and
see something shifting through the glass and stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now at first you think, oh, it's just like a what's those breathing things with the black thing that goes up and down, like that helps people breathe.
Oh yeah. Like it has little plastic baubles inside them or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
But then we zoom in on the needle, then we zoom back to the dock, and then we see something behind the curtain, slightly moving. Now, this is a brief moment. It's literally the tiniest amount, like you wouldn't believe. Like, hold on, I'm actually I'm gonna do a rare thing, folks. I'm gonna drag my Disney Plus thing briefly over just to show you. Now, this scene only lasts a couple of seconds. It is unreal. Like I'm trying to pause at the right moment because like it's literally a blink and you will miss it. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to drag this over. Okay, nope. Disney Plus is clever with their programming. It's detecting that OBS is recording something over. Something is recording something over there. So we're just going to be completely blank. But okay,
Yeah.
so you brief like for a blink and you miss it. You see, how like Xenomorphs have like those like tube things coming out of their backs.
Yeah, well, oddly enough, the runner doesn't.
Okay, so it must be their tail then. It must be the tail. So you briefly see the tail, move the back of the curtain, and then come down. And again, it's a blink and you miss it.
Really?
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, it is so fucking quick. But then Ripley eyes open as if she's sensing something. And then we switch to Colic, who's looking over, eyes filled with fucking terror.
Yeah, he's absolutely like he's trying to get out of his binds and stuff because he's in a straitjacket at this point in the hospital room. So he's trying to get away. Ripley opens her eyes. She sees the looming figure.
She quickly
of the
pulls
scene.
back. Like Neil comes out of her arm. Doc's looking confused. Turns around,
And he's poor Clement. See, because he still knew nothing about what the fuck was going on, and he's killed by the fucking alien. And it's just it's kind of. I would say it's kind of a. I think they would have benefited more if he had survived. Like if it had gone for Gollig instead, and then they just kept Clement's character.
Oh yeah, if it quietly killed him and then left, and then they like because that would have been so fucking terrifying. Now, mind you, I have an explanation of why it went for him, but again, we'll get into that when we get to a certain big reveal.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't think of that either. That's a good point.
I'll bring up my idea. But yeah, I will say though, it would have imagine the creep factor if it killed Golic and then left. They open
and like they never allude to it. It just kind of you turn around and it happened. Like fuck, it was here the entire time.
Yeah,
That's
and like
even
they
more
open
creepy.
they open the curtain, and then they just see a fucking bloody mess.
That would have been I think that if it handled well, like if that was executed well, it would have been really creepy.
Now this is when we get to see the runner in like a decent lighting. Now again, this is a CGI moment.
It's a bad
yeah. But then it quickly. I love how for the close-ups though they do use puppets. Like absolutely. Yeah, thank God for that.
And it's basically like the iconic, like I'm sure a lot of people, even if you're not Alien fans, you would have seen it. It's like the iconic kind of screenshot of like Ripley like looking like her eyes closed and scared, and the alien is just up close to her with the second mouth out and stuff like that. It's a good shot. And for whatever reason, it kind of it does this weird head movement and then fucks off, takes Clement's body, and goes back into the air vents.
Yeah.
And then so she buggers off. Then she goes off to find out where everyone else is. The warden's doing his rumor control stuff, and Dylan is just having none of it because he's just like, oh yeah, it's very clear that the two prisoners that died met an unfortunate end at the hands of prisoner Gollig, and Dylan's just like, fuck's sake, can you just shut up?
Yeah.
And
Ripley
yeah,
then runs in and is like, it's here.
yeah, God, Clement, it's here, and probably one of my. It is actually one of my. It's an hilarious scene because like. Warren's just like, oh god, 85, just get her out of here and I'll deal with it later. And then as the camera's panning towards him, just the runner's hands grab him and just drag him up.
Yeah.
And I just love it. Like, you just hear this horrible, like, painful screaming, blood is splattering on the ground like a fucking shower, and then it's all over. The ball drops down.
The prisoners are losing their absolute shit.
But I just love it. Like, once
one even grabs, like, now, your man who, like, one of them, the one that spoke up at first to like, we all took the vow. He's there with a fucking cheer, like, fuck.
Fuck! Yeah, I think his name is Morse in the film. I think that's the character.
Like,
but yeah, I loved his reaction to it. It's just this awkward silence and just
like everyone else is, like everyone else is like they're all panicked and whatnot. Now, fair play. His survival instance is pretty good. Like, he's grabbing a weapon, but
he just grabbed a chair.
Yeah, but like he grabbed something. Everyone else is just huddling up to each other. Actually, sorry, surprisingly, they're huddling around Ripley. Like, shit, mommy. Which has bigger context when considering what the big reveal involving Ripley.
Oh god, it's so good.
But yeah, he's just there with the chair, and then all of it, then there's just quietness, and then it's just him being like, "Fuck."
Fuck yeah, it's so good.
And then
the next scene is the guy mopping up the blood, and he's looking up, trying to make sure it doesn't grab him. He's mopping it up.
He's hunched over so much, constantly looking up. He keeps like when he's like he would dart back, and he's just like, look up, see where I'm mopping. Look up, see where I'm mopping. Look up. And then,
see, and this is what we mean, people. Like, there's clearly like elements of a good movie in here trying to get out.
Also,
I know, like,
it's sorry, I you brought it up in the last video. Like, you can very much tell there were British people behind this, because like this is very much British humor. Like, it's so fucking dark and gritty.
Oh, it was. It was so good. It's again, there are elements of like just genuinely like good moments in this movie. Like, again, I'm always of the thing, like, if even Sigourney Weaver came out recently in an interview and said that like Fox should have let David Fincher like have complete control of the film, because I genuinely think like there is a good movie in here trying to get out. It's just marred down by so much shit. Like, sadly, we because of Fox, we get the end result we have. But,
like, to be honest, it basically makes me feel like. It makes me feel like when fucking EA interferes with BioWare.
Yes.
Because like Anthem, oh my fucking god! Like, I'm not sure if you played Anthem.
I saw the gameplay trailer for it, and that was kind of enough to put me off it.
Okay.
That kind of style just doesn't fascinate me.
Fair enough. I played it. I finished it. I absolutely fucking loved it. Yeah. Now, and again, I'm also like, it's the same way with Mass Effect Andromeda. Like there are 3 games that like I actually enjoyed, but I'm not blind, obviously. Sorry, there are 2 games that I played that I really enjoyed, but I'm not blind to their faults. But then when you do some digging, you'll learn that EA, the big company, similar to Fox, starts fucking sticking their fucking nose in.
It's always EA, and it's not EA. It's like some other company, you know.
Funny enough, the Dagda, to use his battle name, me and him talked about it, like, and he told me like that, like, it's actually a miracle Anthem is in a good state as it was. Like, the fact that it's actually has enjoyable gameplay is because they had to develop this whole new thing, programming called sandboxing. Because for the 10 years that Anthem was in development, they have changed teams completely 10 times.
I had heard this actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was the same thing with Andromeda, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, EA kept pulling people off the production teams and whatnot, and like basically just brought in new people completely. And apparently because they were brought on, they were sent to different projects and whatnot, or simple different divisions and whatnot. There was a very there were very difficult means of communication between the previous developer teams and the current one. So, like, again, Anthem suffered a lot of that. Now, lucky enough, Mass Effect Andromeda did not get the huge Anthem treatment. Like, thank fuck. I really enjoyed Andromeda. I just wished fucking EA would have kept the plan going ahead, as opposed to being like, okay, I completely abandon the game now. Like,
yeah, I think Andromeda is one of those things where
it was 1 week when EA the game came out for 1 week, and then that's when EA said pull the plug.
Yeah, because it was like for that 1 week was kind of all it took for Andromeda, like for people to be like, this is kind of like the weaker of the games. And
but in
that's the thing, like
look at Cyberpunk look at Cyberpunk. Like,
no, that game did eventually. Now I will say, if I'm gonna between Andromeda and Cyberpunk, I would say Andromeda had the better release.
Oh yeah,
because Cyberpunk was just broken.
Oh god,
like
yeah.
I didn't get like I think like because I saw like the older consoles like the Xbox One, the PS4, like those versions were fucking broken, man.
Yeah,
like it wasn't even like I didn't get.
I pre-ordered
the closest I got to a. Well, no, I didn't. I did get it day one though, which I really shouldn't have. But I think the only game breaking bug I got was it's like during one of the flashback levels you're playing as Johnny Silverhand and you're attacking Arasaka Tower. You're like on a helicopter and it's like a turret scene. You're shooting people as they come out of a door. So I think the only kind of game breaking bug I got in there was basically the enemy stopped spawning. So I was like for 5 minutes just stuck in a helicopter as it looped around the top of the tower. So I actually had to revert to like a save that was like 30 minutes prior. So that was fun.
Wow.
I didn't mind that. Like that was annoying, but you know, I'd rather revert 30 minutes than a full like hour and a half, which Andromeda had me do.
Now see, this is why, like, again, like, Cyberpunk, I will always point to Cyberpunk as a great example of why. Yeah, if there are problems in the game, like, don't just abandon it.
Because they're
like, because again, the story of I really enjoyed the story of Andromeda. I enjoyed the companions. I enjoyed like the banter between them, like in the vehicle. Like which I was like, why wasn't there banter in the vehicle of Mass Effect 1? The amount of times that we spend in the Mako. Like, the
Mako, yeah.
Yeah, why can we not have banter in that as well? Now, we got the elevator scenes. Don't get me wrong, the elevator was still good.
Yeah.
But my point is, like, there was a lot of positives about Andromeda, like besides from the bugs. But the thing is, the bugs could have been fucking fixed. You know,
true. That was the thing though, because I do remember they did do a patch that tried to fix the facial animations, but didn't work entirely. As far as I'm aware, I think, at least from what I've seen on the Steam reviews for the game anyway, I think most of the bugs are gone. From what I can tell now, they did kind of eventually fix some of it. But
no. Unfortunately, EA is too money grubby.
Yeah, but that's the thing as well, because I do know for Andromeda, it wasn't even the same team that worked on the trilogy. It was an entirely different. I think it was the. It wasn't BioWare Vancouver. I think it was just a different studio altogether. But like the person that got to do the facial animations, apparently she didn't even have a year of experience, something like that. Like basically the experience that she had wasn't as long as that of say other people. And when you see the facial animations in the game, it fucking shows. But when it comes to Andromeda, though, I think my only thing would be is like I love the combat. Like I found the combat was amazing in that game, and I hope it extends to Mass Effect 4. The graphics were actually pretty decent for the planets. The soundtrack's great. Some of the dialogue is fine. But yeah, I think some of the story elements I just didn't really click well with me.
Fair enough. I enjoyed the story elements. I enjoyed like the whole like fresh explorers type vibe, like frontiers type thing. Now again though.
Oh no, yeah, the frontier angle was great.
Again though, like the main point, folks, is like this is the problem with like certain companies, like big companies like Fox and EA. They fucking care about is their bottom fucking line. Now, sorry, coincidentally,
you kind of.
Sorry, hello.
No, I was gonna say you kind of roboted there on me for a second.
Sorry, but my main point is, folks, like now, coincidentally, the two big games that had so much potential that had like from BioWare that had like both of them were from BioWare, both of them had huge fucking interference from EA, coincidentally, and not gonna lie, from what I'm hearing, we are getting the same shit as apparently what happened in the same shit happened in Dragon Age 2. Because like it will all be in my Dragon Age Let's Play. I will be bringing up in the credits about like how Dragon Age 2 was going to be quite different. But then EA got interfered.
Yeah, they did the same with Mass Effect 2, I believe.
And then the same thing also, I believe. From what I'm hearing, the same thing happened with Veilguard.
That doesn't surprise me.
So, which again, I'm just like, EA. Here's my message to EA and to big companies like Fox. If you have a good IP, and the IP is being... Leave it in the fucking hands of the people who created it for you.
Yeah, like, none of this whole, like, design by committee kind of thing. Like, it's... which is Alien 3 kind of has that, like it's kind of, oh no, we need to have one alien, and like it needs to, like, okay, we have to go back to kind of like what the first movie was like again, and people like to see them characters that are just cannon fodder. No, we don't. So just have them be cannon fodder and shit like that. It's and I feel I don't blame David Fincher at all for not wanting to acknowledge this movie or anything. Yeah, because like again, I as I said in the last episode, the script was continuously changing as they were filming. Like, so he was getting new scenes and stuff like that when they were already trying to do something coherent with what they had. So the fact he left towards the end of production, I don't blame him. Like, I absolutely would have probably done this. I would have just left with very early on without looking back. Just like, fuck it, I don't care if this is my first movie experience. This is just too much. Goodbye.
Yeah. And from the video game perspective, devs, leave them the fuck alone. Sorry. Big companies, leave the devs a fucking alone.
Yeah, like, because that's the thing. Like Mass Effect 2, we brought it up just there, but like Mass Effect 2 was going to be a lot more RPG-esque like the first game was, but EA were the ones that pushed for the more action kind.
I will say I'm glad for the upgrade of the combat action for Bionic. The fact that you can play the game without shooting a single bullet.
Oh yeah, no, the combat is great, but because I remember the original idea, and if you look into the game's code, like there is actually dialogue that proves this. You were going to be able to recruit characters at any point in the game. Like, you know how like you don't get to recruit Tali or the others until after Horizon. You were actually going to be able to recruit them like from the minute you get the Normandy. Like, and you could basically go anywhere you wanted, recruit who you wanted at any point in time.
Yeah, but they're like, oh no, we only want you to have these characters for this half of the game, and then you can recruit these characters the second half of the game.
Exactly, yeah. And I think they had another plan for the Reaper IFF as well. Because that's kind of a random thing where you go into a shuttle and then you fuck off for a bit, the collectors attack, and then the shuttle comes back. So what was going to happen was you actually were going to use the shuttle for like a brief segment of the game to select your characters and stuff like that for the next mission. And then as you're leaving for the mission, you get a call from Joker saying, oh, the collectors attacked, and then it would play a flashback. and then that's what would be kind of the thing going on. So there was some like, EA just and those dev companies. I don't know what it is. It's like they have a thing in their head, like, the fans want this. Let's fuck up everything and not give them.
Also, if you do have a game that has mostly just graphical issues or bugs, don't fucking abandon it after 1 week of bad reviews.
Yeah, it's one
pull,
of those things.
Pull a fucking CDR, pull a CDR, do as many fucking patches as it takes to to bring out the fucking diamond in the rough. Like, look at fucking Cyberpunk.
Yeah, like I will say, like that game is like the best example of having a glow up. Like it is now, like having gone back and played it, it is actually a good game. Like it's more in line with what they originally wanted it to be than what it was at release.
Yeah,
you know, like it is actually a really good example.
Like it's just again, like it's just if they were having issues a year in, I could then understand why they would abandon the plans for DLC and no more patches and whatnot. I could understand that, but the fact that they abandoned Andromeda after 1 fucking week is what really gets me.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, because the game would be really bad for that end, like a Concord, that new game that came out that's basically like an Overwatch clone but just really shit. And like, keep in mind, this is coming from someone who does not like Overwatch either. Like I couldn't.
I don't like Overwatch.
But yeah, but like as soon as I saw the trailer for Concord, like all I thought was, okay, so it's an Overwatch clone, and the gameplay looks like it offers nothing new, and the characters look. I'm just gonna be honest, and if you liked the Concord character designs, people, my apologies, but I have seen AI come up with better character designs.
Yeah, no,
like there was no charm to them. They just looked very bland, looked very samey, copy paste. It just wasn't grand. And then the fact that like the developers were actively kind of like calling the critics of the game talentless freaks and stuff like that, that's your game deserves to fail if you're kind of like that. But like there are instances where like that can happen. Like a game is just so bad where like it kind of fails.
Oh no, and
like,
I get.
Days.
Oh,
but
no,
like I get
that.
what you mean there. Like with Andromeda, I think should have been given a better chance,
because unlike Concord though, it wasn't a clone of any other game. Now, mind you, it tried to capture like the exploration energy that the original Mass Effect had, being on the Mako, and like they certainly, like in my opinion, they got it. The combat was fun. Like the idea of like, okay, I'm gonna switch one. Okay, shit, I need shit, something's gone wrong. I lost my tank. Okay, I need to switch to a tank myself. Like the fact that you could switch roles on the fly, like, oh my god.
Like the combat in Andromeda is probably some of the best the Mass Effect series has had.
Yeah, and then there's also like again they added, because the whole jetpack systems are like, now we are adding vertical dimensions now, like.
Yeah. And I actually will say I do love the detail that if you choose to be a biotic rather than using a jetpack, you actually lift yourself with biotics.
Yeah.
It's a nice little detail that they didn't have to do, but I'm glad they did.
Then again, we have like okay, we're gonna pay homage to Liara with having you another Asari companion. But what if Liara was a bit more erratic, and we get Pip, like, who is clearly a very young Asari, and she's very outspoken. She is definitely not a Liara clone, which is fantastic. We also get a badass female Turian smuggler as our companion, and then we get this old grizzled Krogan,
He's got, like, bones on his armor and shit like that.
Andromeda had so much fucking charm to it.
It did. Again, it's that whole. It's like Alien 3. There are elements of a good game in there. It just got marred down by so much like backroom red tape and shit like that.
Then there's the controversy about the voice actress for the default female raider.
What was this?
Okay, basically the male preset. The male preset looks exactly like the voice actor.
Oh yeah, no, they smushed her face and stuff like that
Yeah,
for the female one. Yes, I
yeah.
remember that. And I
She
was just like,
she she sued them.
I'm
Um,
honestly, I'm not. I kind of don't blame her because they.
because she's like, hold on. So he now again, it's because EA has this whole thing. They're trying to like their PR came out and was like, we're trying to desexualize female characters in games because unfortunately in video games female characters now it is a thing. I will acknowledge it is a big thing in video games where female characters are overly sexualized. But again, this always fucking comics.
But that's the
Pretty much
thing
in
as
all
well.
media.
Like it's kind of like it's kind of an for games. I've always found that the sexualization is kind of it is equal terms. Like again, look at games like Tekken, Street Fighter,
Yeah, it
fucking
is.
The Witcher, Geralt in the bathtub. Like literally, I
Yeah.
saw a fucking article talking about how, what was it? Why Geralt's bath bod makes us hot and bothered. I was like, okay,
Oh yeah.
fair enough.
And again, it's one of the reasons why like I defend fucking anime is because like no, in anime is always fucking like the fan service is fucking
Equal,
yeah.
yeah.
Like
There's anime for everyone,
like
basically.
look
It's,
at
you know,
okay, look at Zoro and Luffy's fucking outfits. Like
yeah.
they always have their fucking abs fucking shown. Zoro's actually mostly topless for a
Yeah.
bit of the time.
I'm
Then
pretty sure I've seen clips of a few episodes where Luffy is just completely butt ass naked.
no, shirtless mostly.
Ah,
There is one episode where he is naked and he's surrounded by women.
ah.
But like then you also have like Fairy Tail, which is okay. Fairy Tail is very guilty of fan service, but it's also very guilty of equal opportunity fan service because not only do we have Urza and Lucy with their fan service, but you have a character Gray, the male character, who's because of the way he was trained at such a young age, subconsciously strips.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's his quirk, and people have to point out like female people. It happens so often that there's even female members of the Fairy Tale Guild that's like, "Great, your pants," and he's like, "Oh my god!"
Oh fucking hell!
So the amount of times you see him in his underwear, like he's shirtless and he's only has his boxers on, or he's in the process of taking off his boxers.
So he doesn't realize he's doing it.
Yeah. Because his
Okay.
instructor made him, because he uses ice magic, his instructor was like, an ice make wizard should never be afraid of the cold. So she made them, so she herself would strip down into her underwear, and she would make her students strip down into their underwear. But for some reason, he starts subconsciously even removing his boxers now. But anyway,
Okay,
the
fair.
point is though,
Yeah,
the controversy there was again, as you said, they smushed her face.
I remember that. Yeah.
Again, fucking EA is like, oh well, we're trying to make it so that like we're not being a sexist game company. You know,
Do you know
we're
what
making overly sexual female characters.
do you know what the funny thing about that?
Sorry, I want to bring up. I
No,
think the reason why they went into such drastic situation is because of Miranda from Mass Effect 2.
Well, you mean Miranda and her buns of steel?
Pretty much,
Yeah.
because those camera angles when it came to Miranda were always like,
Yeah.
why do we need this camera angle?
I was like that with one shot in particular. It's when you're in Miranda's office and you're talking to her for the first time, and when she's talking about
How perfect she is.
I think it's either how perfect she is or she's talking about her sister. And then, yeah, it just, for some reason, it cuts to a shot where we just get a full body shot of Shepard with his arms closed, with his like arms crossed. But fucking, like, right on taking up the entire left side of the screen is just Miranda's ass.
Yeah.
So I do get that. Like, I remember when they were bringing out the legendary edition of the Mass Effect trilogy. They've cropped that scene now, so we don't actually see that. And a lot of people are like, oh, don't censor it, and all I could think of was, I wouldn't really class this one as censorship. It's just taking out a shot that really wasn't needed.
Yeah.
Which I can understand for that stuff. But the funny thing is, though, with that whole, we don't want to, we don't want to sexualize these characters. A study came out recently where they were talking to like a bunch of female gamers, and like the vast majority of them said they actually like playing as like sexy characters.
Yeah. No,
So
again, this is where big companies like play it too safe.
Yeah, like there is a line, but at the same time, like they're games, like they're designed for escapism and fun. You
Yeah.
know, we don't want real, we want fantasy. You know, like I don't
Yeah.
like if I'm playing as a male character, I don't want him to look like me. I want him to be this fucking Terminator Schwarzenegger Adonis looking motherfucker.
But yeah, so again, big companies, stop doing what you're fucking doing.
Yeah, yeah. No more studio interference. It's
Yeah.
so and Alien 3 is like the assembly cut has again the assembly cut does fix some issues I have with the film. Like it explains how there are two embryos instead of one, which is through the royal facehugger. It kind of gives us a different like in the assembly cut, the runner comes out of an ox, not a dog, so we don't have to suffer through dog violence.
Okay, yeah, I would have liked that.
Yeah, yeah, and we're going to be going into Golik's thing now because, of course, after your man
That's saying,
dies,
yeah,
they're all
A5 is trying to take control.
yeah, A5's trying to take control. All the prisoners are gathered, and fucking what's it, Ripley? They're turning to Ripley to ask for some help, and she decides, okay, yeah, let's see what kind of plans
Actually,
we can
you're
make.
wrong there.
Oh,
It's okay. A5's trying to take control. Mosik or whatever. Morse is like A5. Yeah, he's laughing it off, and basically all the prisoners are rallying to Dylan.
yes,
To
that's
take
it,
control.
Dylan. Yes.
However, Dylan's like, no, no, no. I don't want to be the man in charge. I'm not the officer type. He does not mind looking after people, but he does not want to be the man in charge. So he's
Yeah.
like, hey, lady, you were an officer, right? Like he's trying to use every logic to put her in charge. He's like, you are an officer, you've dealt with this thing before. Like he's just like, there is literally no reason for you not to be in charge. Other
Yeah,
than
and
the people preferring me to be.
yeah, and so Ripley she does kind of accept it. She's like, okay, so we have no weapons, is that correct? So we need to think of a way to stop this. Like she goes over like she's very honest. Like she's never seen one move like this. She's
Yeah.
never seen one behave like this. The rest of them I've encountered were afraid of fire and not much else. So
Yeah.
it's like kind of get some brief back and forth between them all, but then that's when we start getting into their plan eventually.
Yeah.
Of how to how are we going to stop this thing? Like you've got 85 and Ripley going over like a map of the area and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Ripley realizes that a lot of the air vents and shafts, they lead into this one particular area. So
Yeah.
like, all right, let's leave the alien here and then lock it in this big chamber. And 85's like, yeah, if we lock something in here, nothing can get the fuck out of it.
Yeah, because they never used it. And he was like, how do you know it's around here? Like, and she's like, no, it's here. It's like a lion. It wants to stay near the zebras.
Yeah, and 85's like, zebras? Oh. Like, he gets a brief thing of realization.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very dark humor coming from you, Ripley. What the fuck?
Then she's like,
pardon
we
me.
need to burn it out. And oh yeah, sorry. He's like, how are we going to do it? And then she has this line like, humans for thousands of years have enjoyed the ability to make fire. Certainly
Don't need
things
to
have
get sarcastic.
certainly things have not changed. Like yeah. Then we have this actor who was in Jurassic Park Lost
Oh
World.
yeah, Pete Postlethwaite.
Yeah,
Great
he was,
actor.
oh yeah, great actor. I loved him as the hunter in Lost World. Even at the end when he got his book, he's like, yeah, but my friend died.
Yeah, he's like, this was not worth it. Oh, well, another great movie. We'll have to get to that at some point. But
Yeah. But yeah, so they come across like this fuel, I want to say, or just
it's
flammable
like nitro,
waste.
some kind of nitro glycerin or something like that. It's like,
Yeah.
it's very flammable, and they start painting the vents with it and stuff like that.
Mm.
But what I love as well with this scene is we finally learn why they call him 85.
Yeah.
The guy, and it's just like Pete Postlethwaite is like, oh, when he arrived, a few of us got a look at his personnel record. It's his IQ.
Yeah, and then he describes like just how dangerous the thing is. Like he saw it like hit a ship, and it was like dry docked for like a week.
Yeah, like this is how powerful this shit is. Like this, like nothing can survive it, kind of
And
thing.
this is when they fully examine the room, and she's like, "There's no way in or out." He's like, "Yep, no way in or out." They're like,
Yeah,
"Okay."
we can absolutely trap it in this room because I think it's room that was used to store chemical waste or
Yeah.
something like that. So yeah, like it's once it's in there, it's in there. Like it can only be opened from the outside.
And Dylan's like, "So you want some help with some Y chromos?" Like the way he refers to him is
Double Y chromos, yeah.
yeah. And
It's such a good way.
then we get the montage of them, doing everything. Ripley is being exhausted.
Yeah, she's starting to look a lot more worse for wear now.
And Dylan's like, "Hey, are you all right?"
Yeah, like it's kind of again for a lot of this movie's flaws, like when it comes to foreshadowing the stuff with Ripley, I think it did a pretty decent
Oh
job.
yeah, we then have A5 trying to take command again. He's like, "Okay, don't light it until I give the signal. Right? This is the signal."
That's the flashlight, yeah.
And then, now mind you, he does have a good moment where he fucking grabs a guy's cigarette. He's like you don't
Yeah, he's smoking it next to something flammable.
that was just previously explained is so flammable it took out a ship.
Oh my god, it's the little moments like that that again put the movie in guilty pleasure territory.
Again,
for me, you know?
I feel like this is the British filming showing,
Yeah.
like the British actors and whatnot shining through, because like I only really see this type of like comedy, like this dark comedy in British stuff. Like now again, like that and Irish stuff,
Yeah.
because like Mrs. Brown's Boys, Father Ted, Fools and Horses, like
IT crowd.
IT Crowd, like the level of shit comedian that they tend to get away with when it comes to like what type of comedy are we going to shove in to these moments, or what type of topics are we going to make light of, that American shows just don't hit.
Yeah, it's it's kind of it was funny to see with this one actually, because there are some genuinely funny moments in the film.
And
85 being a source of a good few of them actually.
And I know some before someone comments like, "Oh, but actually it's an American film." I'm going to stop you there. It was filmed, I believe it was filmed in the UK with a vast majority of English actors. Like British actors.
Like excluding Sigourney Weaver and Lance Henriksen, I think the vast majority of the cast are British.
Yeah, which I get. Oh, James Bonds are also a good fucking example of like British stuff coming through. Like,
oh god, yeah, like the Roger Moore era is like just the best.
Even Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah,
like that, like ad lib of the tie fixing his tie when he goes under the bridge on the speedboat.
Oh yeah,
he ad libbed that. Like he's chasing after this terrorist that attacked MI6. Oh shit, there's a bridge. Oh, this thing can dive. Press. Dives under. Fixed tie. And they even play a tune. There's even a little playful tune. Like it cuts from the action chase music to play a playful tune as he fixes his tie.
now I have to go back and rewatch them now.
It was The World's Not Enough.
Yeah.
Hold on, folks. My mother's actually ringing me just now, so I'm just going to
worries. I can pause my recording.
Yeah, so can I? No. Okay, so all right, folks. For you guys, our pause was nothing, but for us, it was quite a while.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So yeah, we're at their montage.
Yeah, they're starting to like paint all the stuff. They're lathering like all the air vents, which I will say, as far as a plan to lure the alien goes, like it is a really good plan. Like instead of a flamethrower, which like Dallas had when he was going into the Nostromo air vents.
Yeah.
This time, right, we're just going to set the whole air vent system on fire.
Oh yeah. Now there's a moment here where one guy is going into the higher sections to Now I don't know why is this thing that they're used that he drops that clearly is some kind of like lighter or something.
Yeah, it looks like a flare or something to ignite a spark. Yeah.
Yeah. But like I like when he drops it and he initially starts climbing down to go get it. You actually see the runner peek
Yeah,
over.
it just appears just like just kind of out of focus in the background, just appearing behind him. Yeah.
He's like, okay, you're gonna come back up.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait here for you, silly human. I'm just gonna eat you with my little mouth.
Which is funny because I've been watching Family Guy a lot lately, and that came up. And also, this is yesterday when I was rewatching, Alien 3 again for this video. That's when I first noticed that the xenomorph actually leans over, looks down at him, trying to pick it up, but then you do see it go back. So it's like, okay, I was waiting for you to. Where are you going away? Oh, okay, you're picking something up. Okay, I'll go back.
I'll reset. I need to get this jump scare right.
Yeah. So the guy picks up, puts it in his mouth, starts climbing back up, gets all the way back to the top, and then it's at that moment, like when the xenomorph then is like, hello, or it's like, finally. And then the guy drops this lighter thing and whatnot. Because, of course, the plan has to go horribly wrong.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And it's like this kind of slow motion shot of the spark hitting, and then all hell breaks loose. You've got 85 being like, wait
for the fucking signal. And we see just how deadly this shit is. Like, it is, oh my fucking god.
Oh yeah, it's like someone just set off like a couple hundred propane tanks. Like it's a massive fucking explosion. Like it's clearly also, again, much like how the initial hive scene in Aliens was clearly a way to kill off a good chunk of the Marines. This scene is clearly here to
do the same thing with the prisoners, like, because we're down to only like, what is it, 4 prisoners
by the end of the scene. Yeah, but here's the thing, actually, because the explosion happens. Like, most of the prisoners that are in the air vents are burnt alive and shit like that. Ripley and Dylan just kind of barely escape the explosion.
Yeah. In
the assembly cut, the plan actually works. They actually seal the alien inside.
That's the end of the movie.
Well, no, because that's not the end of the movie. But in the theatrical release, the plan is clearly they've removed scenes. The plan has failed. The alien's still running amok. But during the explosion, the alien comes across Ripley again, and for one reason or another, like, it's not attacking her. And then there's just this one prisoner who decides, fuck it, come on, you, come and eat me, and actually gets it to chase him into the chamber, where Ripley proceeds to close and seal the door. And then the sprinklers go off, and the alien is sealed for the time being. And this is where Golik's thing comes back in. So basically, because Golik is very much obsessed with the dragon, the alien now, or he calls it the dragon. So he's talking to Morse in a scene in the hospital. And he finds out that they've sealed the alien, and of course, because Golik is obsessed with it, he wants to see it, he wants to worship it. So he convinces Morse to set him free. He knocks Morse out, then he goes off to the door, opens it, and the alien obviously kills him and then fucks off. But also before all of this as well, 85 and Ripley do actually send an update to the company, and Ripley actually refers to the alien as Xenomorph for the first time as well. Like, her character, it's the first time her character actually says the name anyway. And I'm just saying, oh yeah, we have it contained. What do they want done with it now? And of course, it's the company, so like, oh yeah, wait until further instructions. Under no circumstances are you to take any more action, because they want it alive, basically. Yeah. Which Ripley already knows is like, all right, I'm not following that order at all. And then Golik releases it, and basically the theatrical release. In the theatrical release, it's literally just them standing outside the open door and being like, fuck, what do we do now? Yeah. The 85 just being like, well, I'm out of ideas.
And then Morse being like, no fucking shit, that's a surprise.
Yeah, no surprises there then.
Ripley asks A5 to accompany her to because she's like, okay, something's clearly wrong with me. Maybe it's internal bleeding. Like, so she goes off to
Yeah. She thinks it's like some kind of hemorrhage in the brain or something like that.
yeah. So she goes back to her downed vessel because it's the only place with advanced fucking technology in this entire facility. So she lays in the cryopod, and A5 comes across her, and she's like, "Okay, would you mind manning this for me?"
Yeah. And it's like he's going through the typical scanning process, and then
she's describing like what to look for, like it should be like a dark patch because again she's expecting she's bleeding internally or something like that, like
yeah, like some kind of brain damage, something that would explain why she's feeling this way.
yeah.
And instead we get the reveal that she has been impregnated.
Yep, with a chest burster that has yet to come out.
Yes, it's kind of this. It's clearly the interior, the embryo does look a little different.
It does
when we see in the scan, and of course, then it starts to kind of click with Ripley. Then this is why the runner like left her alone the first time around and stuff like that, and so she is clearly distraught about all this. Like she actually has one inside her now. Like it's a very well acted scene.
Oh yeah, well, and it's not just a regular xenomorph. Like she like because the only thing she can really I guess it's due to I forgot to press play on the video. I think she comes to the only conclusion of why it wouldn't kill her is that it must be a queen.
Yeah.
That she's carrying.
And of course she's right. Like she is carrying the Queen Xeno. Because I remember one of the criticisms for this film was like, again, it's bringing up the inconsistency of how long it takes for a chest burster to gestate and stuff like that and eventually emerge. I can actually forgive them for having it be because it's a queen. Like the queen is clearly a bigger Xeno. And stuff like that, so it would take longer to form and stuff like that. So I'm actually okay with that that kind of explanation.
There are, to my recollection, there are other explanations, like because the Xenos have numerous ways to build a hive. A drone or warrior can become a queen if there's no queen nearby. We also know that also in the absence of a queen, they will literally take organic creatures and
like morph them into eggs.
Which one of them could then, like, again, there's so many fucking... Now, again, it's like what the original android in Alien says, like, the perfect organism. Like, because this, like, they have... There's so many redundancies, like, basically built into xenomorphs. Yeah, like, again, like, you have the bullet... Like, the extremely tough exoskeleton.
Yeah.
You have the ability. You have the ability that they can go into hibernation for extremely long periods of time, so that they can sustain themselves without food. They can survive in a fucking vacuum. To our knowledge, they can we've only really seen extreme cold and extreme heat be their issue. Now, when I say extreme cold and extreme heat, I'm referring to fire and liquid nitrogen. Because again, I'm pretty sure if these things were dropped in an Arctic desert, if these things were dropped in an Arctic desert, Arctic tundra or a desert, they would be fine. Without, they'd be okay. We're talking multiple minus zeros and way above, boiling point, in terms of heat for these guys.
Mm.
We know that our exoskeletons can also survive like extreme environmental conditions, as also said from Alien.
Yeah.
Then there's the acid for blood, which again protects them from any violent death from any kind of organic creature, akin to because like eventually like if you injure me, you're gonna fucking injure yourself, which will chase off most creatures.
Yeah.
And that's even after you get through its fucking tough exoskeleton. And then they have this to build up their fucking nest. Yeah, it is so many fucking redundancies built into the fucking xenomorphs.
Yeah,
And
it's one
so,
of those cases where it absolutely is engineered.
yeah. And then
I
you
know we're
have,
sounding like a broken record at this point, but come on.
yeah. There's also the case for, basically, I'm pointing this all out. I wouldn't be surprised if the Queen, even in this earliest stage, the Queen is aware that there's no nest for it just yet.
Hmm.
And as such, it's biding its time to come out.
Yeah.
Again, I understand it now. The most logical explanation is like, yeah, it's the Queen. It's going to take longer to incubate, but given the fact that a regular chest burster was a couple of hours, we're now going on several like 2 days, I think, at this point.
Yeah,
We're
it's been it's been roughly like 24, 48 hours
Yeah,
since the
that
initial landing.
that is a big jump in time
Hmm.
between a regular and for the Queen. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Queen was waiting for basically for an all clear from the Warrior.
Probably,
because
like, because I do
because
know.
we
I think,
know because we do know that warrior Xenos are meant to protect the Queen.
yeah,
So I wouldn't be
they're
surprised.
well. That's the thing, because I think the comics kind of confirmed that depending on the situation, like even if an embryo isn't 100% fully formed yet. Now, keep in mind, I'm not saying like in the very, like the first few minutes. I'm talking like maybe the first hour or two after gestation, kind of. So let's say, for example, like Kane, like the facehugger came off of him. He was awake for maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half, for however much time it takes
Yeah,
for him to get cleaned up and back and have
have
dinner
that.
with the rest of the
Yeah,
Nostromo crew. Yeah. So maybe let's say rounded
two
up 2
hours.
hours. Let's say two
Yeah, two
hours,
hours.
and like so by that point, then that's when he's having the dinner. That's when the chessburger comes out and stuff like that. So let's say it arguably takes roughly 2 hours normally, between 1 2 hours normally for an embryo to fully be ready to emerge. Sorry, and then I think Alien. Which Alien was it? I think it was might have been actually Resurrection, maybe. No. Anyway, the entire point is like for a lot of Alien products after that, they would start to be a little bit inconsistent with how long it takes for like an embryo to actually emerge. And stuff. Alien versus Predator. That's what I was thinking of. In Alien versus Predator, the film, in the chamber with all the scientists where the facehuggers come out for the first time.
Yeah.
You've got the security officer with the handgun, and she gets kind of face hugged, and then when she wakes up a few minutes later, when she wakes up sometime later, like the chest burster is already ready to come out and just emerges, despite the fact we've been shown that like there is a kind of a grace period where the host is actually awake and able to move around and stuff like that before it finally emerges. So basically, I think the comics kind of confirmed that sometime after the first hour or so, an embryo can choose to emerge earlier depending on the situation. Like it goes based off of like a host's emotions, basically. So like if it's got high adrenaline going on, stuff like that, like its fight or flight instincts will kick in. It'll detect that its host is in danger, so it'll emerge quickly. Like it'll just pop out really quick and just be ready to go and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's they're trying to explain like the in-lore reasons for why like some embryos take longer or shorter times than others.
But the point is that they do have some level of control.
Yeah. There's definitely a level of consciousness to the whole thing. Yeah.
And again, like it goes to the fact that, like again, like we said, like you said, the comics, like there is the hive mind situation, and there is an exchange of info going back and forth between the host and the embryo. Now the host is probably not aware of it. There's been no case of a host surviving, which is why that one particular colonial marine is so horrified by the visions he has. Like he's the only one who ever survived having an embryo extracted from him.
Yeah. Like I think it could be extended lore. It could have been actually mentioned in some film like that. But I think when they tried to remove, no, sorry, I'm getting Alien and Stargate mixed up. Sorry.
Okay.
I'll explain something. I'll explain when we get to Stargate. But
anyway, so we then get to a scene where 85. We brought up before where 85 is like we actually learn a bit about that he has a wife and a kid, and because he made contact with the company, which means the company is very close if they're able to communicate that efficiently. Because again, another thing we need to keep in mind, folks, is like the Sulaco was was on its way back
to Earth. Yeah.
So therefore, like they are closer. They don't have to wait the full 2 weeks. That was the problem in Aliens. So clearly they're close enough, and so he's there trying to he's communicating to them like, hey, this is what's going on. Ripley's like, no, we need to tell them that something's gone wrong on this place. We can't let them land. He's like, fuck that. They're gonna come with guns. Maybe they can even help you. And Ripley's just like, they're not gonna.
Yeah. Like she already knows this song and dance. They are going to want to make sure they have. They want their embryo. They want the alien. They want the queen. They will kill us for seeing it, but they will not kill it. Yeah.
And he's just adamant, like again, like I said, as I said in the previous Alien 3 video, or at the start, if we do a supercut, he has fully drank the company Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fully on board with the whole. No, like, they are going to help. I'm not going to tell them to fuck off. I have my own life to worry about. So fuck you.
So then Ripley's like walks out and he's like, "Where are you going?" She's like, "I'm gonna see how intelligent this thing is."
Yeah,
and like she's very clearly adamant, like, "I'm gonna try and kill it, or I'm gonna try and get it to kill me."
Yeah, and it's such a good scene as well, where she's wandering the lower levels of. At this point, she is the fucking expert on the Xenos. At this point, like she knows more about them than anyone else.
We do get a timeline for them arriving at this point. Sorry, 2 hours.
Yes, because by this point, because as she's leaving, 85 sees the screen. And,
also, he turned it off.
Yes, he did. Oh, yeah. Okay, continuity error there. Fuck.
Yeah.
0 out of 10. 0 out of 10.
And then it's like, she must be quarantined at all costs. Waiting acknowledgement. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, they're
still going. It still goes, and then it fades to black, and you see the ship arriving.
It's close to the planet, like it's very close.
Yeah, you can see the planet like eclipsing the sun.
Great shot, actually.
Yeah.
But so Ripley's going down to as she calls it, the basement.
The whole thing is a basement.
85's response. Yeah, and I do like it's kind of a nice scene because it shows at this point she doesn't care. Like, she's not afraid anymore. Like, it doesn't have the same hold on her as it used to. And she's like, come on, I'm practically part of the family now. Which is I love that line from her. It's such a good line from Ripley.
Well, considering what you told me like some of her conditions. It sounds like she wants to be part of the family.
Oh fuck yeah! Oh, I can't believe that was one of the things she wanted. That's still. I still think though it will never be as funny as finding out that this was the first time you had ever heard that was those conditions. That was just glorious to witness your reaction to that. But yeah, she's kind of done at this point. Yeah, it's just Ripley is. It doesn't phase her anymore. Like she even when she thinks she sees it, she's like, you've been a part of my life for so long. I can't remember anything else. So I need you to do something for me. Just do what you do. And then she tries to attack it, and then
It's a pipe.
Yeah.
With a bunch of insects coming out of it.
Yeah, which is just fucking nasty. And then yeah, it turns out it's on the ceiling above her, and the scene kind of cuts away then once it drops down, and we cut to Dylan going into his, I'm assuming it's his cell, which is now like his room, and he's like looking...
Does it just cut to that, or does it not leave? Hold on. I went forward too much. Okay, so yeah, so there we go. It's in the ceiling again. Once again, camouflaged with pipes and wiring. It's just convenient that they always find. It drops down and then it cuts, and then she runs back to Dylan like while he's. Oh no, she was waiting for.
Yeah, she's in Dylan's cell already waiting for him, and yeah, she's just like, look, it won't kill me. Yeah. I have one inside me. It's a queen. If the company wanted, if it gets back to Earth, there's going to be no stopping them. There's going to be like millions of them on Earth. Like we can't let it get out. I need you to kill me.
And Dylan's like, and I funny enough, he does not miss a beat. He's like, sure.
Yeah. He's like, okay, let's do this, and then you can see like it again a really great, well acted scene from the two actors themselves, like because she's just like, no speeches, no sermons, just get it over with, and like she's like fully ready to die because like she doesn't want these aliens getting out.
They are her enemy, like.
Yeah, and I do appreciate that Dylan on his part does look a little bit conflicted. Like he's willing to do it, but he also looks like he's got second thoughts, and then he doesn't.
He sees, he's because like I feel like a part of it is also due to the fact that like he's seen the carnage that like just one was able to do. Yeah, so he's like, okay, shit, you have one that can make more. Okay, yeah,
fucking hell. And I do love it. Like he swings the axe, and he doesn't hit her. Like he doesn't kill her.
He's like,
much to her shock.
Oh yeah, but he's like, no, I will kill you, but first.
Yeah, we need to... It won't hurt you, so we can use that to our advantage. She's not having it. She's just like, you have to kill me. And he's had enough of her bullshit, where he's like, look, you've given up, I haven't, so get with the program or fuck off, basically. And then, as you say, like, she says, all right, they make the deal, right? We waste this thing, then you kill me. And he's like, you got it. Quick, easy, and painless. I'm like, I love Dylan's actor. He has some of the best lines in the film.
He does. But again, again, it's just the fact that he's the one that proposes, like, when it's dead, that's when I'll kill you, like, because like he's just like, we need every person we can fucking get.
Like he fully understands the situation. Like it's really good.
And then him and Ripley make a fucking speech, like trying to rally the troops for another attempt.
And it is again towards the end of the film. Like there's so many elements that are really good to praise about the film. Like that Dylan's whole speech to get them to fucking join them, like, because Ripley's already being like, look, they won't kill it. The first time they heard about it, it was crew expendable, then it was Marines, they were expendable too. Why the fuck do you think they're going to care about a bunch of like lifers who found God at the ass end of the universe?
And
which
then
is a great line,
because like A5 keeps interrupting me, because like he's pitching like, no, let's just hold up somewhere and let the company deal with it. And then Morse is actually on his side. He's like, yeah, let's hide somewhere. And then fucking Dylan's like,
how about if I sit on my ass and do nothing?
And then fucking Dylan's just like, oh yeah, I forgot, you're the good man that made a deal with God.
To live forever.
And Morris, for all his selfishness, he's like, Shit.
Yeah, let's do it. Those were my friends too. I want to kill the fucker.
Yeah, like, yeah, because he, like, because again, like, he acknowledges, like, oh, fuck, I can't just let people, I can't just ignore people help, like, asking for help. Like, it's like he's like, fuck, I'm caught between my religion now.
Yeah,
Like, he just got
and
checkmated.
oh, it's yeah, it again. I think this scene in particular has some really good dialogue. I'm not gonna lie. Like for all the film's faults, like again, there's so many good elements to actually praise about it. And when they're coming to planning, all right, we're gonna lure it into the lead works and stuff like that. And one of them asks, "So what are we gonna use as bait?" And there's like an awkward silence. And then one of the prisoners just goes, "Oh fuck!"
The amount of times, like, the oh fuck thing comes up in this movie. Like, it's like normally even R-rated movies like have like a limit. Back in the day, they had like a limit of how many fucks they were able, like, they were supposed to have.
I think the limit is because I remember South Park actually made a joke about this for the film, the South Park film. So basically, I think you can have exactly 183 uses of the word fuck in your movie before it becomes an adult only movie. And so South Park, when they were making their movie Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, they decided to have 182 uses of the word fuck in the movie. So like if they had one more fuck, it would have been an adult only movie, but because they had 182, that's why it's an 18s movie. So
But yeah, like, God.
but yeah.
But no, you can like, you can definitely tell though that like, this is clearly a Brit, like, again, British actors and all that, like, because like for non-Irish slash UK, I again, because there is a lot of, unfortunately, because of how long they controlled Ireland, and then also because like it was fairly recent. We got our independence. There is a lot of similarities in terms of attitudes between Ireland and the UK. And one of those things is our attitude towards swearing.
Yeah, we truly just don't give a shit.
Yeah, like if you watched a good bit of my videos, yeah, we're to use an American term, I swear like a fucking sailor. And again, like, it's just hilarious that like you can sort of feel that attitude like in this thing. Like, hell, it even comes up in even in Father Ted. Like, these are priests, you know, and they're swearing. They swear a lot. Now, mind you, they use the Irish versions of swears.
Yeah. They. So, like, if to non-Irish people, it won't sound too bad, but like to everyone else in Ireland, is like, oh,
Yeah,
that's
like,
a word that was used.
yeah, it is. So, like, now again, I think it was born out of the accent at first. Like, Irish people were probably just saying the actual words, but because of the accent, it got eventually they became their own separate swears. So, okay, so there's fuck, then there's feck.
Yeah, it's like the PG-13 version.
Then there's shit, and then there's shy. You have ass, and then you have arse. So there you go, folks. You've all just been educated on how to say Irish swears.
Bravo! Here's your medals.
You can all now swear like Irish people. But yeah, so. And that's why I still can't believe is that, like, again, like, you hear those swears a lot in the show Father Ted. But again, I think, like, I love how, because again, like, you normally don't hear a lot of swears. Even in, like, in American movies, like, you would hear, as you said, they have a certain limit. But, like, you don't hear a lot of them unless they're done for the sake of just doing them. Like, for example, South Park, as you brought up. They went out of their way to do it. Whereas most movies, they're like, okay, yeah, no, let's keep it to 1 or 2. But like this movie, they just seem so fucking casual with it, and I'm like, this has to be the fucking British actors' influence.
Yeah, because like even the fucking second film didn't have this many swear words
Yeah,
in it.
yeah, exactly.
I don't think even the first film did.
Sorry, I love how often we're swearing, explaining why they're swearing so much in the movie.
Yeah, that's the thing. Swearing is like a lot of people think Irish is the second language of Ireland. It's not. It's swearing.
Yeah. Oh my god. Again, we
Yeah.
have our own versions of the swears and all.
Fuck's sake. Oh. All right. So anyway.
Yeah, we get to the montage of them basically prepping to start luring it into the leadworks.
Into the leadworks. Yeah. They're mapping out the tunnels. They have a plan. Like their plan is basically like each one will lead it down a corridor, and someone else will be locking all the doors behind them as they're going, which is a great idea.
It is.
It's basically it's kind of like the next level to what they were trying to do on the Nostromo. You know, close off all of the air vents to lead it into this one particular area. It was a genuinely clever idea, and.
However, this time with the Nostromo, they were trying to herd it with fire. In this case, it's more like, okay, no, we're going to use live bait.
Yeah, and it is a good scene actually, and it's because the first time we actually get the xenomorph POV, we kind of see what they're like, and I will say, like, I wish they could have put a bit of a filter over the eyes. I think that could have been done better, but. Actually kind of getting like the shot where the camera is upside down on the ceiling chasing after them and stuff like that. I thought that it's a really well shot sequence.
Yeah. Now, mind you, there is a bit of a hiccup. Morse is like, guys, my fucking door's not working.
Oh yeah. Some of the doors are starting to like because it's an old facility, so not everything's going to work 100%.
So like, to my recollection, they actually don't really solve that issue, but like they're like, okay, clearly. We need to keep in mind this. Don't go down this hallway. We then have a guy looking around. He sees the runner killing someone, and again we have like we get to see that the runner is scrawny.
Yeah,
like,
it's a very
we get
gangly.
We get like a good clear shot of it together. Like now, don't get me wrong. The drone that we seen, the drones that we seen in Alien and Aliens, like they were quite thin as well, but like proportionally,
they kind of towered over you.
Yeah,
is the thing. Like they were still very much like massive kind of creatures.
Yeah.
But with the runner, it is actually the smallest of the Xenos, I believe.
Yeah, you think it's a skeleton. You'll look at it, you'll just think it's a skeleton. But yeah, then we get it, as you said, POV. It's running, it's chasing after them. We're on the ground, chasing after the prisoner. It was actually really fucking cool. I feel like
the screams of terror, like it's on the fucking ceiling.
Again, more swears. It helps with the fact that they're prisoners. Like that's why they're like there's literally no fucking discipline. But I do agree that they could have done a filter over it, so like we actually see the way they see. It's not like colored and whatnot. Another interesting thing is, imagine if this movie came out today. I would have been like, they need to do this scene 3D. It would have been so fucking cool.
That actually, I'm. Because I do remember actually the 90s, that was the time where they were trying to do their own little like 3D versions of films as well, like Jaws 3D and stuff like that. So,
we do get to see the power because like the runner does run into
it does, like it barrels into someone like a fucking bullet,
and the door gets properly in. Now it can't break through them, but like you can see the actual power that's behind them. So now the plan's in full swing. So they're like, okay. So now someone else has to find it and
lure it in and stuff like that. Yeah.
So like, okay, we got it this far. Now we need to get a bit further in. Like, so I like the idea that they sort of trade who it's chasing.
Yeah. It's like a very, very dangerous game of tag. You're it. Basically.
Yeah. And one guy's even starts mocking it. He's like, Hey,
Hey, fuckface!
yeah, he starts making fun. And then we go back to its POV. This time we're on the wall, the side of it. Then we go onto the ground. Like it is creepy.
Oh yeah, it is a genuinely clever idea to finally give us like an alien POV.
I will say
shot,
though,
and
there's a clip here where we see it running down the hallway as one guy is getting ready. He's waiting. He sees the prisoner run by. He's like, okay, wait. Xenomorph goes, okay, now close the door. Because it does look like the tail is longer on the runner. But again,
yeah,
anyone who understands biology would understand that like tails are used by quadrupeds. The reason why quadrupeds have tails is to help them balance. So like it does make sense that the runner would have a longer tail.
yeah, because it does look like it has a bit of a wonky kind of stance. I think like its back is more higher up than its front. I think.
Yeah,
If
but
you look at some shots.
I do like how the guy that was mocking it like goes to look through the glass and then a hand just reaches through it. And he's like,
Yeah, just fucking tries to punch through the glass, try and grab him. It's so good, and this process is kind of repeated for another few minutes. Then,
yeah,
and it's still
also
a very good tense scene.
we do get a clip. We do occasionally. I like how for the final act of the movie we keep cutting away to the satellite dish.
Yes,
Like,
because as this is going on, like the way you people are almost there.
Yeah, like it's a good way of like, okay, yeah, we're reaching the final act. They're dealing with the xenomorphs, but just to remind people that there's a run like that Ripley has a timer. Like, because again, Ripley is racing against the clock, not only for herself because the chest burster, but she's racing against the clock before Wayland Yutani gets there.
Yeah.
So like it's a nice clear moment, and we then get a shot of the ship like flying over to the facility, and it's getting close. So yeah, we then cut back to the prisoners. We have again, I just call him the Hunter because I can never remember. I'm terrible at names. So like I just call him the Hunter because I only ever seen him in I've seen him a couple of times and other things, but I only really recall him from Jurassic Park Lost World and this movie. But yeah, I love how he just throws the torch. He's like, come on, because like the Xeno was even hesitant.
Yeah, so like he just throws the flare at him and then just
now we get the ceiling shot that you talked about.
Yeah, and it's again really good, really tense moment, except this time his door doesn't close all the way. Like he has to keep pounding on the button for it to fucking close. And he's like, oh, door, whatever, sealed, I hope. And meanwhile, you've got Ripley and Dylan and this other prisoner just kind of listening to all the carnage going on in the background and stuff like that. And like it's eventually it does kind of come to the point where they think they have it trapped. They're ready to kind of activate the thing, but it doesn't work. Like it jumps out into the hallway to grab a body and then come right back out. Back into.
Sorry, I want to talk about a funny scene though. Before that, though.
Oh yeah, of course.
We have So after he bangs on it and closes, and he's like, "I hope." We then cut to two prisoners running through the hallway, and one of them's running with scissors. He almost stabs Morris, and Morris like
you don't run like that. Hold them like this. You could hurt someone.
Which I'm like, oh my god! Only in British humor will they stop. They would stop for a moment to then deliver a comedic line about you shouldn't be running with scissors because you'll hurt somebody when they're actively running around with fire while trying to lure a dangerous alien.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we cut to the guy, one of the prisoners getting killed by the xenomorph. So yeah, Dylan's like, "What? Come on, what's going on?" So he's trying to make sure that everyone doesn't panic. Reminds them of the plan. He goes like, "Okay, I'm going to try and help out now with the luring." We get, as you said, we get a prisoner who's looking around.
Yeah, he's very sketchy. He's very nervous. Like he wants to activate it quickly.
He has a butcher. He has an axe. Butcher knife, like a carver knife, I think it's called. And so he's like, oh my god, here we go. He just wants to close the door that he's at now.
Yeah. Like he's ready to activate the lead works device.
Yeah.
But Ripley has to like
Unfortunately,
hold him back.
the runner does find its way around to where the hunter was, because
Yes,
he did not leave that door.
Yeah,
Uh,
no. It's he just kind of he finds another way, and fucking poor Pete Postlethwaite's character just gets like a fucking secondary jaw through the fucking head. Oh,
Then we see it run across the hall. The guy with the cleavers, like, he panics. He goes to activate it, and Ripley's like, "No, don't fucking activate it."
yeah. I will say he actually plays like nervous and terrified really well. Whoever
Yeah,
that actor is, like that was actually pretty well acted.
it was.
And so yeah, they have to. I think they have to wait for it to come back out again. Oh no, that was it. Dylan finds one of the prisoners that's still out, but like he's bleeding from the neck, so he's dragging him back to where the leadworks part is, because he has the alien following him and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
but before that, even we then cut away because again we had to have that constant reminder that Ripley's running out of time. We see that the ship has landed, and we see people walking around.
Oh yeah, it's like
obviously.
a team of like Marines and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
team of, yeah.
sciences.
So yeah, we see a team walking around. We then cut to another prisoner, not Dylan just yet. You keep jumping to that scene, but there are other scenes before it. But yeah, this guy's looking around, gets killed because he's literally directly underneath the xenomorph. Then we cut to Dylan with the axe, sees it being the xenomorph being attacked, throws his axe away, and prioritizes pulling the guy away.
Yeah, just like what's the word? Yeah, I'd say just pull him away, and I think he's shouting like profanity at the alien, like
Yeah.
like trying to get him to take the bait and stuff like that. And it's again, I love Dylan, but yeah, it brings him to the leadworks chamber, and
He's like,
steps back to give the alien a chance to grab the thing. Ripley, Dylan.
well, no,
and
they're
that
not. They're not even. Dylan's not the one that's trying to let the guy grab the body. Like, he's trying to save the person, and Ripley's telling Dylan like he's dead.
Oh yes, that was it. Oh yeah, sorry.
And she
yeah,
pushes him away.
Yeah, he has
they're
to,
like,
she literally has to pull him away. Yeah.
well, no,
Like
she
the
pushes
alien.
him once, and then he's
Okay.
like, then he realizes, okay, and then he backs up. She's like, "Come on, take the body," and like, come out and get it. But then it does that, but then it quickly goes back in.
Yeah, it kind of just goes a yoink, lol, and then just fucks off.
Yeah, because
as the prisoner activates the thing, then
yeah, because like, again, this speaks to even the level of like the runner, which is born from a quadruped, that like it knows a trap. So like, again, like, it's just the level of intelligence that xenomorphs seem to like exhibit is just crazy.
absolutely. Like they've been shown throughout the franchise to kind of strategize and stuff like that, and find workarounds to get past like obstacles and find ways to, and even toying with their prey and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
It's they're
Like I said,
great
like that time
antagonists.
it's like that time with when the xenomorph like peeks over the fucking railing at the guy going back down for the flare. It could go down and kill him. It's the guy's as good as got, but no, it decides to pull back and wait for him to come to it.
Yep, exactly. And it's kind of a, what's the word? No, I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, no, they're just very intelligent beings. And then yeah, with this sequence, then so the leadworks have now started.
Yeah, and
So
everyone
now
is losing their shit.
Yeah. I think they only have a few minutes now to actually get the alien back into the chamber.
And in their panic, it's making them fuck up even more. And so, like, everything's gone to hell. Like, more and more prisoners are dying now because they're all just panicking. Because like, they're like, oh shit. We have as less time than we thought.
Yeah, like I think there was like one guy where we get the POV of the alien chasing after this one guy.
Yeah.
He's trying to close all the doors and none of them are closing, so the alien is just constantly coming after him.
And then just as he steps into the woodworks, we then just see his legs fly forward. Like, as like Dylan's waiting, he's like, okay. Then he just sees the guy's legs go up into the air and then back. into
Yeah,
the
like he's
hallway.
desperately calling out for him. You can make it. Come on, you can make it. And then it's just this very gruesome kind of death.
Yeah. Then he's like, fuck, closes the door because he knows like he doesn't want to get then caught by the xenomorph as well once it's done killing him. And like,
Yeah.
so he's like, fuck, boom. Because like the xenomorph is trying its hardest not to actually go in that area.
Like it absolutely knows. And I think during this entire point, then we get Morse and another prisoner running into each other, and Morse like, oh yeah,
not yet.
Oh, not him. Oh,
not
okay.
yet, not yet. Then we cut back then to the team actually entering the facility.
Where 85 is waiting for them. Yeah,
it's a spot. Well, no, they're entering as like 85 is waiting for them. Because they had to go down like this like circular disc thing, like because it's an underground facility, so it's like a metal disc thing on the ground, sort of like in Fallout 4.
Pad.
Yeah, it's like Fallout 4, but instead of an elevator that brings them down, it seems like there's like a part of it opens and they walk down like a spiral staircase, I guess. Which then brings them then into the lobby proper, which is where 85 is waiting for them.
Yeah, like he's informing them that Ripley is down in the leadworks with the beast. I think he refers to the alien with the beast, which I think is a bit of a stupid line.
And the scientist is like, "Take me to her."
Yeah, and then we get the silhouetted figure with the long brown jacket and the glasses. We don't know who he is yet, but he's clearly important.
We then cut back to the leadworks prisoners. Now we cut back to Morse running into the guy with the bandages over his head.
And he's like, oh, you fucking scared me.
Yeah,
like they're having a bit of a laugh.
Yeah, I'm like, really? Like, again, you can tell that these guys are friends. But, like, I'm just like, really, guys? Now?
Levity at a time like this?
Like, see, for me, like, if that was us, and we're running, we bump into each other, I'd be like, you fucking moron, I would then be like, get up, grab you, punch you, and be like, get fucking moving. And then just start running.
Oh, it's nice to know. It's nice to know that your response would be violent.
No, yeah, but the thing is, I would help you up, punch you, and then get you to start running again. Yeah. I wouldn't sit there on my ass having a laugh with you.
No, yeah, obviously, yeah.
I'm like,
and of course, your man pays the price anyway, because like, we get the alien POV, and again. See how fast you kind of get an idea of how fast the alien can run when you see its POV.
Oh god,
charging towards the guy like the alien turns that prisoner into fucking mashed potato.
Well, no, it's like it goes straight for his throat, like kills him. He then just slides down. Then it starts going to work on him while Morse is like army crawling away. He's like, okay, don't notice me.
Yeah, like he's crawling away, and then Ripley arrives with like the flare and stuff like that.
Just like, get behind me, like, because she's like, again, she's like, okay, I won't kill me, so she starts hitting it with the flare.
Yeah, like she's trying to get it to come, like she's grabbing the tail and everything and trying to pull it away, and the alien's just having none of it. Yeah,
like the alien is clearly caught between two of its instincts. One, to protect the queen because it's a warrior, and then second, it's like, defend itself, like. So it's swiping at her. It's trying to use its tail, but like it keeps its tail curved at such an angle that it's the tip the tip won't go near her. But now she clearly does hurt a good bit because you do see that she pulls back the torch and it is melted, like the top of it. So she then tosses it aside, and that's when she grabs hold of the tail.
Yeah,
and then the xenomorph is backed into a corner, so it can't actually get away from her.
No, it's
freaking out.
Yeah, it's like, fuck, I want to attack you, but you're harboring my mother, so fuck you.
Yeah, and that's when Dylan grabs her.
Dylan arrives and grabs her, yeah. And it's a great idea, because the alien is thinking that his queen is being attacked. And Ripley, upon realizing, because she's protesting at first, but then she's still like, yes, come on, yes. It's almost kind of like Predator, like, come on, do it, kill me.
And here's the thing, though, like the xenomorph even then looks at Morse. It's like, I see you, but Queen.
Yeah, but it's kind of because it looks like it's about to actually instead go for Morse, and they're telling Morse to seal the door, but he's just kind of staring at the monster. He's staring at the.
But again, though, the fact that the xenomorph considers him but then chooses to go after the perceived threat. And this brings me back to the thing with the whole why I went after the Doctor. From the Xenomorph's perspective, or at least maybe the Queen, like the Queen's again, there is some kind of connection between the host and the embryo. Like, it is possible that one of the reasons why maybe the Queen had such a delayed birth was because the concoction that Ripley has been getting injected with by the Doctor, and as such, the Queen sent out a command, because again we know for a fact that they communicate telepathically, and then that's when the runner's like, okay, yeah, no, fuck you, leave the Queen alone, and kills the Doctor. And then you hear the runner then hears the warding telling his subordinate to, lock, the bitch up, and the warrior is just like, fuck you, leave the Queen alone.
Yeah.
And takes him. So, like, there are two you could consider those as two moments that the Xenomorph had previously showcased instincts of protection towards Ripley. Because from a creature's perspective, they could be perceived as threats. And I like this.
Yeah.
And I do like this moment where the Xenomorph is looking at the trap, but then looks back to Ripley, and it's like, oh. But then that's when you have the hesitation with Morse. He eventually does do it. Like the Xenomorph then it does attempt to escape, but fails, and then it goes back. Then since it failed, it then goes back trying to reclaim Ripley. We then cut back to the cafeteria, to the soldiers. The science team and whatnot going through. We're at the final bit, folks, and we're at some truly epic moments where the Xenomorph is clawing at the door, trying to get it open, and it's pushed back by the machine.
Yeah, like they've successfully let it into the Leadworks chamber, and like Ripley and Dylan are getting ready to climb up, but as they're climbing up, Dylan notices that the alien is actually climbing up with them, so he actually goes back down. And Ripley doesn't realize this until she's all the way back up.
Sorry, another bit of correction there is you don't actually see the Xenomorph. Oh wait, yeah, you're right, yeah. Sorry, it does. There's a bit moment where it does climb up, and then he jumps back down. And
because he realized he has to hold it. And like Ripley's like, well, what about our deal? Only God can help you now, sister.
Well, he says little sister.
He says little sister.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's actually kind of wholesome.
Yeah.
For a prisoner.
Yeah, but I just love Dylan's just like, he takes off his glasses.
He's like, fuck you.
He's like, come on.
I just love, though, I love everything he's yelling at the Xeno during the scene. Like, he's like, come on, is that as hard as you can bite, motherfucker? Come on.
Again, the volume of swearing that's in this movie. Again, as I've said, Alien 3, guilty pleasure. Like, all through and through. It's not the best of the franchise, but it's not the worst. Like there is stuff in this movie to enjoy, you know. Yeah, and it's at this point where Morse then pours in the lead. Ripley is crying.
Yeah, because like, okay, so the man who promised to kill me is now gone, but like hopefully he'll be at peace now. And we think we got it. We got the triumphant music playing, but and you've got fucking Morse delighted and just swearing up a storm at the alien. Like, we got you, come on, how do you like that, and stuff like that. And then it fucking jumps out with the fucking Leadworks.
This is what I was getting to about, like, of how too perfect they are.
Yeah, because like it's like they should have, you know what, fucking in Lord of the Rings, it should have been like a xenomorph that was given the ring, because if it falls into the lava, it wouldn't have burnt. Apparently,
I don't know about that.
I know.
Because
I'm
like,
just joking.
yeah,
But yeah,
but like it would have been a tough candidate. Like it's I'm not see that's the thing. I'm not even entirely sure lava would do it, but again because they're aversion to extreme heat. That's why I'm assuming it must. Like that's why they have an aversion to fire.
Yeah, because I do know there. Like I think in the 2010 Alien versus Predator game, I think you kill the Pred-Alien hybrid by knocking it into a volcano, if I remember correctly. So yeah, but anyway, yeah.
They have a new plan, which is, well, unfortunately, teens tend to react very violently when, especially
immediately
metal.
cooled.
Yeah, like metal specifically, like when it's super heated and then super cooled, it reacts violently. So they're like, oh, let's do that.
And I kind of just realized I don't know if it was intentional, but they kind of foreshadowed this earlier on when their first plan fails. Yeah, the bucket when it's hit with the super cold water, it cracks open. It's like, okay, and I'm only just thinking this now, so maybe that was intentional. But yeah, like Ripley uses the sprinklers,
and it just explodes.
Yeah, it's no acid blood apparently, but it just explodes. And again, I would say, like, as far as killing an alien is concerned, I have to say this movie has the most creative method. Until Alien Resurrection, actually, to be fair.
We'll get to that at some point.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, it was a genuinely creative way to kill off the monster, and it was really good. And from there, then, Ripley reunites with Morse. They get off the leadwork thing, and that's when they're
like, we're triumphant. Then Wei Yu shows up, and we apparently meet the designer for Bishop.
Mm-hmm. And who I think, because from here on out, in the Alien lore, Bishop is Weyland. Carl Bishop Weyland, and this is kind of a consistent thing across, like, the games and the comics and even the AVP movie that came.
And also Prometheus and Conan, like, because wasn't fucking what's the name, David, supposed to be modelled after the young appearance of the Weyland of that generation?
Oh, Guy Ritchie's Weyland. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. In some way, shape, or form. Yeah. So,
I think he was modeled to look like what he would have if he had a son, because David, again, very coincidental. Look, like the actress that turns out to be Wayland's daughter, like they look so fucking similar. You could swear that they were actually brother and sister.
I never actually copped that.
So it's possible that Weyland designed David to basically be like essentially like a surrogate son. Yeah,
because he has said that he did say that in the movie. We're jumping ahead, but he has said that. I think he does say that in Prometheus.
So,
but yeah, so Bishop arrives, and at first we think he's an android, like that's what Ripley thinks he is, and it's like, no, I designed it. And of course, again, lore, he is actually Weyland. So,
and he's like, come on, I'll kill it. Don't worry, we will destroy it and whatnot.
Yeah, like he's pulling all the corporate bullshit talk.
Yeah, and then I just love how Ripley's just like, no, closes the fence gay.
That's it. Like he tries to where, like, you can have a life, children and stuff like that. And no, fuck it.
And then like immediately, like Morse is pulling the thing away. Like he knows what's going on. One of the soldiers shoots Morse in the leg, and because a stray bullet could potentially hurt Ripley, Wayland's just like, no, fuck, don't risk it.
And then, of course, 85 comes in then yelling "fucking machine" and just wallops Bishop in the back of the head.
Yeah.
So apparently, again, in the assembly cut, he is human.
Yeah. No, he is clearly human in this as well. Like his ear is hanging. His ear's hanging off. Like, and because 85 missed the head, but he got the ear, and that fucking ear is hanging.
Yeah, it is a very gruesome.
Yeah, I cringe.
Even the theatrical release, it's very gruesome.
I'm like, dude, how are you not screaming in agony?
Oh yeah, well, he was in the assembly cut. But yeah, then 85 sadly gets killed.
Oh yeah, he gets riddled with fucking bullets.
Yeah, he kind of
So much
he
for
has a
not
brief
having
moment of
guns.
redemption, but yeah,
So much for
yeah.
not having guns. And in the
But
movie,
really wishing for them now. Yeah.
but yeah,
We
no.
get
So Morse knows what's going on.
Yeah, he knows what Ripley's looking for, and you've got Bishop Wayland being like, "You have to let me have it. Think of all we can learn from it.
Yeah,
It's the
and
chance of a
then
lifetime."
the realization on his face of what Ripley is
About
intending
to
to do. Yeah,
yeah.
because he's like, she's not gonna kill herself. Like he's all calm because he thinks, look, they can't go anywhere. Like, you know. But then he looks down, sees the lead
what they're
works.
over, yeah.
He's like, then he shouts no, and Ripley just
she just plummets into the furnace. Yeah, it's such a well done scene because it's all in slow motion, and the music is kind of bittersweet, triumphant number.
And
If that makes sense.
knowing and realizing what's about to happen, the chestburster comes out and Ripley grabs hold of the
like
fucker.
Her last moments are her holding onto that thing with a vice grip as they both plummet into the furnace and just incinerate.
Yeah, and the thing is screaming like, and
it's trying to get away, and Ripley just has this kind of peaceful look on her face, and it is a. I will say, like, had they left it with Alien 3, like, having it end the way it does, I wouldn't be angry. Like, I think ending Ripley's story that way just makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
If they're continuing it, like, like if they were planning to make Alien a trilogy from the get go, having Ripley's story end that way, I would have been okay with. I still think her story should have ended with Aliens, but I'm okay with the ending of Alien 3 as well.
And again, like, I'm also happy. Like, again, like, I'm saying, like, they could have easily for Resurrection, they could have easily done like, they could have had like Ripley do a. Now again, they do try and bring in like a new heroine, which is the female synth.
Yeah, Call, I think, is the character's name.
Yeah, but like, I really think like, I still think for like, after Aliens, the next protagonist really should have been like a grown-up Newt. Like, they could have done. They should have done a time skip. We have adult Newt who's like leading a special task force. She was trained by her adoptive father Higgins. To shoot a gun, like all that type of stuff, and Ripley, and Ripley being like some kind of like consultant. They lead like a special branch.
How to fight the aliens and stuff like that.
Yeah, and again, we had we even had a name. Like, they could have called him, we had a name for the show, Bug Hunt. Remember?
Yeah,
our last.
That was the idea you came with. Yeah. It would have been interesting if they went that route. Sadly, no. This is what we got.
Yeah, because so Alien. The fire team is clearly meant to be the special task force that deals with xenomorphs. Long run, fire team is a cool name, but bug hunters or something like that, like or something like as a homage to like Ripley could have been cool as well. We could have had something like that, like. But yeah, the following scenes is just the furnaces of this prison being shut off.
Yeah, like everything is shutting down. The prison's being closed down.
Yeah, it's
everything is
locked
being
up.
Like Morse is the only survivor of the prison.
And he's
now
laughing.
Being taken away. Yeah. He's remembering the memories. I think he's kind of happy he's leaving as well.
Yeah.
And we get one final line from him where the guard's like, "Keep going." He's like, "Oh, fuck you." Like, that's the last we hear of it, and then I think the film ends, I would say, quite hauntingly on Ripley's final Nostromo transmission. And like the final line of the film is, "This is Ripley, last survivor of the Nostromo, signing off," and that's it. Like, it just we get this final thing, like end transmission or something like that from the computer screen, and then we just get great music from Elliot Goldenthal. It's I think, again, the ending is kind of what saves the movie for me in many respects. Like, it's the opening is the opening half of the film. Yeah, there's a lot of issues regarding, like, okay, what the fuck is an egg doing? What the fuck is, like, why is any of this happening? Why does any of this need to happen? but like the film is saved by the cast and the soundtrack, as far as I'm concerned. For me, anyway.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's why
yeah. It's again like if I'm going to watch Alien movies, I will still watch Alien 3.
yeah, like it's definitely one to have in the rewatch.
Oh yeah,
kind of
like
thing.
again, there are aspects of even fucking Prometheus that that I
Yeah.
still enjoy, and even with Covenant, again, like because for me the only big fault with those movies is connecting the origin to David.
Yeah.
It's not a bad way of like exploring the origins of the Xenos. But anyway, the movie as a whole, guilty pleasure, it is the weakest
Yeah.
of the Alien trilogy. Now, okay, technically there are more movies now that are in terms of in terms of, I should just say franchise at this point because we have Resurrection and Romulus,
Yeah.
and then so in terms of the Alien franchise, it is to me the weakest. Actually, no, you know what? I would still say it's the weakest because the writing into now. Don't get me wrong, it's due to the fact that as you said, they had so many different rewrites and whatnot. So I do have to be leaning on it, but I do have to also judge it by its final result.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is the weakest, followed by Resurrection.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
now, unfortunately, like as much as people gave Resurrection shit, at least like parts of it made sense.
Yeah, and
As a-
one thing it does that one thing Resurrection does that Alien 3 doesn't really do is Alien Resurrection tries to do something different in regards
Yeah.
to the aliens themselves, like with the human alien and stuff like that, and even with Ripley herself.
Yeah,
But with Alien 3, it feels like they tried to rehash the first film
Yeah.
again on a different just on a prison planet. And while yes, there are some things they do. They're cool. Like again, I do like the runner. I do like that it is
yeah.
a vicious alien and stuff like that. Well, they're all vicious, but this one has a bit more of a vicious cycle to
Yeah.
it. Like there are elements in this movie that they do get right, but it's bogged down by like some really just weaker elements.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
it does it gets bogged down mostly due to the plot.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, like you, and unfortunately, like the fact that they chose to linger on the egg for I'm like, really, you decide to linger on the egg for this scene, but then have no explanation.
Yeah,
Like you sort of can't ignore like that big, huge, massive plot hole.
exactly. And again, it's why I do think the royal facehugger was a better idea, because you could at least make the argument it might have been attached to the queen. That's why it was there.
Yeah.
You know, like that would at least give you, as an audience member, like at least it's not a good explanation.
Yeah,
it's an explanation.
Yeah, it's what we got was at the start of this movie was a very forceful reason why the movie happens.
Yeah. It's like
that makes
you
absolutely no sense. Like because as we said, we talked about how let's say if it was a genuine electrical fire. No, you're like again. We talked about like how in that time and age. Yeah, no. Like the fact that I was taught in what is the equivalent of high school in first year what to do in case of an electrical fire.
Yeah, it was just it made no sense. And I know there would be some people that would be like, okay, just turn your brain off. That's what the movie wants to do. Just turn your brain off. And while that argument works for films like Fast and Furious, where they know what type of movies they are.
Yeah, like
Alien, like especially Alien 3, it's trying to be something deeper.
No, you can't do that with movies with like deep, rich lore. Like that's been building up from 2 previous movies, and then at that point, comics.
Yeah, and I'm not even just talking about lore. I mean, the film itself is trying to be like this deep kind of because it does have themes of like religion, like religious undertones and so forth. So it is taking itself seriously. So this whole idea of, well, if you want me to take you seriously, then do a better job. Of
also,
plot,
that's another thing. It's a horror movie. So it was back then it was labeled as a horror movie before people started really diving into like subgenres. Now it's just a thriller.
Yeah, yeah.
But like back then, it's a horror movie. With horror movies, you can't really turn off your brain
Yeah, you do
because
genuinely kind of have to put some thought into
yeah.
like the
Whereas
logistics
where
of
Fast and
like
Furious
the
movie,
rule.
that's just an action movie.
Yeah, it the you can be like, okay, so why is Vin Diesel flying through the air and catching someone midway and then landing on a tank? It's a fucking Fast and Furious movie. The last film had them dragging a safe through Brazil. Are you really going to question this right
Yeah.
now?
Whereas, like, and again, like, and here's the thing though, they don't even do anything like to like. Okay, that they are extremes, but they don't break like logic extremes. Like again, like the egg being in the cryo, room.
Yeah, because
Like,
there's no conceivable way it could get in there from what we saw in the last film.
yeah, at least with the
Yeah.
Fast and Furious, like they build on shit. You
Yeah.
know, that's why it's
Or try
easy.
to.
Yeah, that's why it's easier to turn off your brain with those movies.
Yeah, because it's just kind of you're just if you'll pardon the expression with the Fast and Furious movies and movies like it, you're just along for the ride.
Yeah,
You know, but
where
with movies like Alien, you kind of like with the first movie, like there's so many details that you don't you can even miss on your first watch. But
Now-
like they are there when you pay attention.
now,
You know.
before anyone even brings up, because I did the comparison to Resurrection, if someone tries to argue the whole isn't cloning a forceful continuation of the story? Well,
Yeah.
like okay, no, you're right. However, it's done fucking better than what we got here, and also
No, because at least you can argue, yeah. Because I think in Resurrection they're like, oh yeah, we used hair samples and skin follicles. I mean, yeah, okay, it makes sense. Ripley shaved her head in Fury
Yeah.
161, so of course. Oh, hold on for a second. I'm being called. Now
Yeah,
in
same.
3, 2, 1.
So, yeah, so like again, we're talking like technology, like in every sci-fi setting, when technology gets to a certain point, cloning does get fucking brought up, like, and clearly, like from the get, like very quickly in terms of Alien Resurrection. It is established that it's like what is it like several like it is very far in the future. Like Weyland Yutani is even gone at this point.
Yeah, I do have thoughts on that. We'll talk about it when we get to it. But yeah, it is one of those things where okay, 200 years later, fair enough. They give an explanation.
Yeah.
You know, I'm willing to be okay with it. I still think it's stupid, but at least they try.
Also, like, yeah, no, and again, like, we're also dealing with like it's again we're given like a fairly decent explanation 200 years into the future, and again we were already far into the future that we're terraforming fucking planets, folks. In terms of the Alien franchise, so cloning is not too fucking far off. Like we can make androids that appear so fucking realistic. You know, the only way you can really tell them apart is if you cut their fucking finger and see white
And
stuff.
they bleed milk. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't really turn your nose up at the prospect of cloning. You know?
Yeah.
And again, like, so
Hold on.
okay.
Your dinner is downstairs in the kitchen. Dawn is doing a video.
Okay. So yeah, folks. So before you even try and bring in like, oh well, cloning is a forceful continuation, keep in mind the jumps in time and the evolution of technology to take into consideration, as opposed to, we're just going to put some Xeno eggs under the table. Just slide, just slide them in there.
Deal with it.
Yeah. So, and again, like, don't Resurrection, like, that's why, in my opinion, Alien 3 is the worst of the Alien franchise. Like, because, like, even with the fuck up of trying to connect the xenomorphs to the creation, like, to David. Okay, sorry, if I'm going to bring in Prometheus and Covenants, okay, I will say Requiem actually technically should be the worst.
Oh no, Requiem's a horror.
Yeah. Okay, so, it goes Requiem, then Alien 3. If I'm being brutally honest in the Alien verse, if I'm being brutally honest in the Alien verse, it is Alien versus Predator Requiem, then Alien 3. if I'm being brutally honest.
Yeah.
Well, and again, I'm only counting the movies that feature aliens. So I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
so I'm not gonna get into fucking what's the Predator. Actually, I didn't
The
actually.
Predator.
To be honest, I actually did not mind that. To be honest.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. Well, when we get to the Predator movies, I look forward to hearing your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I just know that your man Shane Black directed it, and he played your man with the glasses in the original Predator film.
Did he
Billy.
now?
Yeah, Billy, I think was the character's name. No, Billy was the guy with the big knife.
Oh shit! Okay, wow,
Yeah.
that's something I did not know.
Yeah, Shane Black's character was the one that kept telling all of the ladies' parts jokes.
Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, he tells the joke to the guy, and then the guy that's Native American starts down doing his laugh.
Yeah. That's him. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, in terms so as I said, is the worst. Is the second worst Alienverse movie that features an alien. But and it has nothing to do with the acting. It's purely just on plot, folks. That is it. The concept of the idea of it being having Ripley on a place with no weapons, very exciting because okay, they can't deal with it like they did with in terms of aliens. They don't even have flamethrowers at this point. At least with the Nostromo, they had flamethrowers and the cattle prods. She doesn't have any of that shit. That's exciting. It's just
The execution.
yeah. It's there's so much potential with this movie. And I feel like it was and that is it for my home, folks. One sec. So yeah, folks. In terms of acting and all that, I think this is a fantastic movie in terms of all the performances.
Oh yeah, like I said it before, the movie, for all the film's shortcomings, the cast isn't one of them.
Yeah.
It is definitely they what's the word I'm looking for? They didn't pull any punches when it came to the cast.
Yeah, because they have some pretty big names.
Yeah. I know Paul McGann had just come off, I think, of With Mail and I, which is a really good movie. Then you've got Pete Postlethwaite, who's been in so many fantastic films, even before Alien 3. Great character actor. Again, Charles Dance, who every Game of Thrones fan knows.
His performance in that was
Oh yeah, it's very subtle, I would say. He delivers I want to say eloquent. In terms of how he portrays Clements, the Doctor. He does a great job portraying this kind of remorseful, kind of just trying to do right character. All the way down to, again, one of my favorite lines that he says in the film is after he's telling Ripley his story about how he ended up in the prison, diagnosing the wrong level of painkiller. He's just I was given this
11 years.
length of time in prison. Yeah, 11 years, and my license was revoked, demoted to this level or whatever. Yeah. And he's I think I got off lightly.
Yes, and see again, the show. That's a great example of that. Yeah, how seriously he took being a doctor. Because again, the Hippocratic oath, do no harm. So even though it was because it was a simple okay, I accidentally gave the wrong dose. No, there were deaths involved, so I'm not trying to make lightly of that. But even though he himself did not kill someone in a surgery or whatever, even by being that level connected to those type of deaths, he holds that so tightly onto his conscience.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great acting on his part. And then, of course, Sigourney Weaver, again, even in the lesser Alien movies, I don't think she's delivered a bad performance.
Yeah, no, she's not had a bad performance.
I think there may be, in this film particularly, there might be one or two line deliveries I wasn't a fan of. I think when she's explaining to the prisoners down in the furnace like what the company thinks, and she's like, "They think we're crud." I'm just like, okay, that line could have been written better. Don't never put lines like that in a film.
Yeah,
especially if it's like a series.
You could have even had just been like, they see us like shit. Like,
yeah, like they see us as scum. They see us as lesser. Like anything is better than
crud.
what I would call like grade school remark.
Especially given the amount of swear words they're saying.
Yeah, it's very. It just took me out a little bit when I watched it. It's a small thing, but anyway. But yeah, my
it's like you got some American in my you got some American dialogue in my British movie.
Pretty much. But yeah, I've been saying my thoughts already about the film, so I won't sound too much like a broken record.
We've been saying it throughout the entire as we've been doing this.
Yeah, like it's a guilty pleasure. It has. The writing is not the best. It is definitely one of the weaker of the films, but again, the cast save it. The soundtrack is amazing. And I feel so bad for David Fincher, like as his first directorial debut, like it was this. Thankfully, he got better. Like he got to do like Fight Club and Seven, and I think Eraserhead was one of his. No, that was David Lynch. But
now, out of curiosity, where would you put this in the Alienverse?
We're ranking them at the moment. Okay, so because so far we've just watched the 3, so at the moment my ranking is 1, 2, 3. Like that's how I kind of rank it.
Okay, if we're doing it this way, yeah. Okay, I'm curious to hear your thoughts by the time we finish the Alienverse movies.
Oh yeah, I have a feeling this list will have changed by that point, because I do have hopefully it will anyway. But yeah, as far as like the Alien films go, it's not my least favorite. I'll say that because my it's again guilty pleasure. It has some strong moments, too many weak moments, but again the cast, the soundtrack, and all that make up for it. I'm looking forward when we get to Alien Resurrection. I might be a bit less kind. I don't know yet. It's been a while since I've rewatched Resurrection, so we'll find out. I can't wait for us to get to Covenant. I have issues with that film.
Okay. But yeah, folks. Before we make this another extremely long video, they're pretty much our final thoughts. Like in terms of this movie. I gave away how I feel, like how my end result of ranking is going to be for this movie, being second last. Again, so that was a bit of a spoiler, I guess, for that ranking list. But I'm looking forward to hearing how your list will evolve, and I should probably make my own list that I write down. Because I'll be curious to see how our lists end up by the time we're finished. But at least,
absolutely.
Like so far, like it's clear what is the 2 movies are at the bottom of my list. It's very clear on those. In terms of the Alienverse.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, no. Just to remind folks of the order, we're doing Aliens, then we'll do Predators, and then we'll do AVP.
Yeah, and that'll be because it's 2 films. Like it's...
Yeah, that's going to be a very brief one. And also, I feel like it's best to do the AVP one, like, last, after we do
it. Yeah, like do it chronologically kind of thing, yeah.
Well, not so much chronologically, but...
no, yeah, because there's the Predators, the Predator, and Prey, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Prey's such a good one.
I haven't seen it.
Have you not seen Prey?
No, I think after the Predator, like I'd heard some horror stories, so I was just kind of like, okay. I mean, don't get me wrong, Prey looked interesting, and I kind of think that's how Predator films should be done from now on. Just instead of having them be sequels that pick up one after the other, like actually have them take place in different time periods. So I'm hoping, because I keep hearing, I heard.
We want that samurai versus a predator.
I actually have heard rumors that the next Predator film is actually going to be in Japan. Apparently.
Nice. I wouldn't mind a ninja. Actually, I wouldn't mind a ninja versus a predator. Actually, no. The predator's advanced technology, a ninja skill will be fucked.
Yeah. I'm sure they'd find a way to make it work.
Yeah, they could always do the mud trick.
Yeah. I actually can't wait to get to the Predator films. They're good films.
But yeah, folks,
But yeah.
that's it for us for this week. Next week will be Ludo Chat. I'm the
Yes,
Celtic
I've
Nerd.
gotten a lot of footage, and I've been SkullDuggery.
One name.
One Sky, and